Let's see.
That is lit. I didn't even know. Yo, what YouTube channel are you on, Sav?
The Britt Print Agency. So we're live on YouTube now.
Yay.
That is lit. I didn't even know. Yo, what YouTube channel are you on, Sav?
The Britt Print Agency.
Oh, wait.
So we're live on YouTube now.
Wait, there's like it's doubling back. Wait.
I didn't know. Why am I hearing my like voice back and shit?
Okay, because I had it playing in the background, so there's like a lag. So I just paused it on the actual YouTube screen. I'm looking at Zoom. So awesome. We are all here. I'm so excited to have everybody here today for Diaspora Dialogues. As many of you know, I moved to Nigeria 6 months ago. I've been on a mission for the past just 2 years, unapologetically just bridging the gap for Black people globally. And it's just so important that we have safe spaces like this where we can come together, people of the diaspora, and have these important conversations. There's a very big focus right now on Africa and Black people in general. You look at Black culture in America, you look at dancehall, you look at Afro beats. There's been some tourism initiatives. So there's a really big focus on African people globally right now. And so I think it's important that we come together and we figure out what are the next steps. So I would love to go around and introduce all our interesting panelists today on the Bridging the Gap panel. So I'll start with Dani Wonders. Why don't you go for it?
What's the question?
Just introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do.
My name is Dani Wonders. I'm a director, photographer from London. I have a production company, One Division Films, where we deal with a series of things like web series, documentaries, music videos, and many more. My goal in general is to basically become the face of media when it comes to African stories, and just helping to not only to inspire, but to also educate and entertain.
We'll go in the order we were going before.
Okay, so hey guys, my name is Raro Bugo, also known as Raro Lay, and I am CEO of Raro Lay Entertainment, where my focus has been to bridge the gap between Western and African entertainment, essentially interviewing your favorite celebrities, from your Denzel Washingtons and Kevin Harts to your Baskin Mounts and Adekunle Golds, and really just showing the best of both worlds and the best of both cultures. I also am the CEO of Selfful Co., which is a lifestyle brand, urging people to be selfful, where I specialize in producing natural hair and skincare products.
Imani?
Sorry, let me unmute myself. Hi, everyone. I am Imani. I am a music manager. I also own Simmons Unlimited. It's a full service event production agency as well as event management. My spiel is a lot shorter than some of you guys' other ones, but I'm very happy to be here. So thank you, Savannah.
Awesome. Tim?
Hi, everyone. I'm Timothy Welbeck. I'm an attorney, a professor, an author. I'm also an artist myself, and I guess my overall theme is to find different ways to bridge the gap between these respective fields in a way that uplifts and advances our interests, both globally and nationally.
And I don't know how to pin these videos. Joey, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so hi everyone, my name is Joey Lit. I'm co-founder of Frida Youth Ghana, which is also an NGO in Ghana, West Africa. And we've been working on a lot. I met Savannah last year during a sneaker talk, because we had a collaboration with Nike by that time. We're the first streetwear brand to collaborate with Nike here. So I met Savannah on the sneaker talk, and yeah, now we are here to talk about bridging the gap and just making the world as one together. Yeah, so there's Joey.
And Dani, if we could get you.
Hi everyone, my name is Dani.
Which Dani is it?
Your name is Dani, right? Yeah.
All right. So from now on, just call me Wonders.
Wonders. I'm gonna call you Wonders. That's okay. So my name is Dani. I live in the Netherlands. I'm a Nigerian. I have multiple businesses. One of my businesses is Sulix International, so sustainable housing business. I own a medical center, which I've built 1.5 years ago in Ogun State. It's a charity project for a small town called Moe. I also recently started another company, the African Connect, which we actually bring investors from the Netherlands back to Africa, to Nigeria, to start up and just actually build their businesses over there.
Okay, awesome. So I want to start with right now, there's a really big conversation around Africa. Ghana had a Ministry of Tourism initiative with the Year of Return. Nigeria has announced in 2020 that they're going to be doing the Door of Return, which is also another initiative getting diasporans to come back to the continent, to invest in business, to participate in the culture, and just unify. How important, I'll start with Wonders, how important do you think initiatives like this are for Black people globally?
I think initiatives like this are very important because Africa is the only place where you can be, and not only are you doing great in your work for people to admire, but there's this sense of ownership here in who you are and what you do. I feel that when you create in Africa, it transcends to the generations that come after that. Whereas when you create in the Western world, it can still transcend, but you're in their system, so it kind of gets caught up in all the hype of whatever's going on there. I feel that where Africa's going right now is everybody's finding their pride back home, and that pride is going to bring everybody to come together. And one thing we all lack in general is unity. And I feel like all the Western diasporans from London, America, so-and-so, like if we're to come back, even if we all don't move back, but we just come and we collaborate with those who look like us and are like us, our work will, like, we don't need the world. Like, we can still be global from home. We don't need to be going outside and trying to get the validation. And that's something that I had to basically learn, that I was doing a lot of work, which was, yeah, I'm working with this celebrity and that celeb, but I didn't feel the purpose in that in 10 years later. Like, is it gonna matter that I worked with The Rock? Or what would matter is if I helped create something bigger that can help the future generation to do more with themselves. So I would say the initiative of Africans working back home and the diasporans is definitely necessary for every Black person to come back home and to come and see what it's about, because we look at Africa as if it's like, you can only be there if you've been deported there, or why are you there? Like, what's there? But there's actually so much here. And here, there's freedom to create and do anything you want to create. If you want to create a festival, you can do it. Like, whatever idea you've got, no one's going to stop you here. Whereas I feel like in the Western world, you have to kind of go through the system to become big,
I agree. So I'll segue to Imani. Imani, we visited Africa around the same time. We were there. We were in Ghana and Nigeria in December 2018. Was that your first time on the continent?
It was.
And how was that experience for you? Tell us about your background. How was the experience coming to Africa for the first time?
Yeah, so I'm African American. I'm from Chicago. Going to Africa for the first time was for sure life-changing. Like, obviously, I did not know what to expect being over there, but it's just so welcoming and inviting, and everyone is just so happy that you're home, like you can truly unapologetically be yourself there. And like, it doesn't matter, like, you've got doctors, you've got architects, you've got creatives, you've got literally everything, but just like the beauty about it all is like, we're all Black. Like, there's no separation between, like, it's just one less boundary up for us to like really get to know each other and appreciate each other's company and just get to know each other for what you offer, what you bring to the table, what this particular country, whether we were in Nigeria or Ghana, like what this country provides to the world, like the history behind it. Like there's just so much that you're not taught here in the States, going over there and not only just seeing it firsthand, but like hearing it from the people who, you know, I mean, I grew up in the 90s, but like meeting people my age over in Ghana who also grew up in the 90s, like they had completely different experiences. So it was very, very eye-opening, and like I love it. Like I cannot wait to go back, but it was definitely life-changing for sure.
So there's this rush for Africa right now. And when you go to Africa, you see that the Chinese are establishing a lot of industry in Africa. The Lebanese, they've been there for generations. And now this conversation of Western world Africans coming to the continent, how do we make sure that it's authentic and that we're respecting each other's spaces? And, you know, because when I first moved to Nigeria, I was like, the Mean Girls moment, like Jumbo, like, you know, I'm like, we're all the same, like, let's get this moving, blah, blah, blah. But you start to have conversations with people and you realize that, you know, maybe it's not as black and white for some people. So how do we make sure that all spaces and cultures are respected and that there's not this just, you know, there is some conversations about, there's people who think that, you know, Africans from the West shouldn't come back, that maybe there's not a connection there, and you know, that's not their responsibility. I personally feel like as an African, that if you're living in the West, every African person should have some ties to the continent. You should have a cause that you're contributing to. You should be adding to the economies. You know, that's how I feel, but I would like to give the floor to someone else to perhaps talk about this.
Yeah, I like what you're saying, and it's very true. I think it's cool coming back home, like just to come back and vibes, but I feel like how we add to it, it won't matter what races are moving to this country as long as we are adding to that. We shouldn't watch people coming to Africa and building it and complaining, why are they going back to Africa and doing this and doing that? Because if we're not abusing our land, we can't complain when they do. So when we come back, our efforts should be to add and to help build for others, and not just to come and party and go back, or because then we haven't necessarily done anything for the culture itself. So I feel Africa is literally a place of investment, and we have to think long term here as well, because people have this mindset of, oh, Africa's got opportunities, I'm gonna come there and I'm gonna blow in the first year because I'm not from there, so everyone's gonna love me. But it's more like, here you can't avoid the hard work, and here before you become, nobody should come to Africa for an opportunity. Because here you're not successful because you found an opportunity. You're successful because you was able to survive. Because here is very like rich and poor. So the surviving part alone is the tough part. But once you're able to survive, you realize that there's actually all the stuff that are missing. Because people can say, oh, the roads ain't fake and so, but there's so many things missing that just tells us that there's so much value we from the Western world can bring, because we've learned so much from America and so that if we're to bring those skills and to be patient and to have a long-term vision, because there's without a doubt in 10 years time, this is going to be the place to be, especially with the way the world is moving now. So this is the place for us to set up our own institutions for the future of the upcoming generation.
I would love to get some more contributions. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Oh, someone?
Raro, I'll give you the floor.
Okay, yeah. So just kind of to piggyback off of what Wonder said, I think honestly, I believe that it should be okay for people from the Western world to come back and to contribute. But the thing that we must be most particular about is, like Wonder said, a lot of times you think you're going to go back home and you're going to blow, and you think it's so easy because you have this accent or whatever, you have this, you know, that overseas whatever, people think they have a grandeur because they are from overseas or something. I think that mentality absolutely needs to be stripped. And when you're going back, you have to have genuine intentions of, I want to contribute to moving the industry forward. I can speak specifically to the entertainment industry. just because in addition, I know in my intro I didn't mention this, but I do event production and event management, and from concerts for WizKid, DeVito, all of the different Afrobeat artists and East African artists and South African artists. I work with them to develop different concerts in the DC and just East Coast area. But one thing is knowing that when you're coming into this industry, it is a struggle, one. So you genuinely have to be behind. I really want to see these artists and their talents move forward and go global. And I think one thing, I think Wonder touched on it a little bit as well, is we always say, or it might have been Wonder, it might have been someone else, but basically there is a lot of value back home. And we're so concerned in getting the approval of people in the Western world and getting onto their charts and everything, as if there's not value in how many countries are there in the continent of Africa. And I think one thing is realizing there is value, there is an entire market there. Just how you have the Hispanic markets that they have with Bad Bunny, they are not even concerned about the Western world or charting here. They do it naturally now, but for example, Bad Bunny was on Instagram Live. He had over 300 million people tuned into his Instagram Live. And we're over here shouting about 400,000 because Babyface had so many people breaking the internet. And the thing is, for example, in the Latinx and Hispanic community, they recognize their market and they're only concerned with their market. I think when it comes to the African market, we also need to realize that there's so much value in the entire African continent, and with all the countries contributing to it, we should focus on that as well.
Joey, I would love your take on this.
Yeah, sure, because I'm a living testimony for the Year of Return, because the Year of Return helped me collaborate with brands like Sony Music, Nike, Foot Locker, Daily Paper, who's like family already, like and a lot of brands through the internet. And like, I didn't know these people, I just knew them through the internet, and they're all Black people. It wasn't no white person, it was like Black Americans or Black people from diaspora just coming to connect with locals here. So I feel like doing that, it helps locals understand that these people are here for cause. Mostly the locals, sometimes they think that, oh, when these people come, they just come in to get our content and go. People have that mentality, you know. It's real, because some people also just come here to get them the content and just leave. So people are also very cautious of what they are giving out to other people coming here. But since every Black person is a king in their country or a queen in their country, I feel like it's a good thing for Black people to just come and just, if not even work, just explore their land and get to know the people and the language. And with that, they will find their true connection with the land and make something work out of it. Yeah, that's how I feel. And it's also like I see not like Black Africans, like Africans living here calling other Black people because they're little light-skinned white person, you know. So that all this stuff is like an education for people to just know that, yo, this is your brother, this is your brother, this is your sister, this is your sister. So, and it has been a huge investment to locals here too, because like a lot of locals generated income through the Year of Return, and people are still feeding up they go from the Year of Return, because now everything is on lockdown, and you know. So I feel like if stuff like this happen more, people can. And people here have the story, like we have the story to tell the world. That's what all these brands are interested in, African music or African fashion or whatever, because we own the stories. We have the genuine stories to tell to the world. So yeah, I feel like people shouldn't be scared. Like, some people are also scared to come because there's a lot of darker stories about kidnapping. I hear a lot of weird stories, but that's not true though. It's all good intentions, and everyone wants to work with everyone around the world. Now the internet makes the world smaller, so I feel like it's better for everyone to just come and just invest or work or have fun any way. Yeah.
Timothy, I would like to segue to you. What are some areas in which you think Africans and sorry, tongue tie, tongue twister. What are some areas in which Africans that live on the continent and Africans from the West can connect and complement one another?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has been shared already. I love the idea of how we've talked already about the idea of people in the diaspora going back home. And I think it begins there for us who are not on the continent, understanding that anywhere that we may find ourselves, we are Africans. That's what Nkrumah was trying to teach us. That's what Garvey was trying to teach us. Wherever we find ourselves, we're Africans. And when we begin to look at that, we begin to understand our power more, because we are not a minority globally. We might be a minority if we're in Canada or if we're in the US or if we're in the UK, but we come from the birthplace of civilization. So I think we have to just reorient our thinking as it relates to that, and then looking for synergistic ways to bridge our work across different borders. The internet allows us to work across different country boundaries. Just like you moved to Nigeria and Ghana for 6 months, just the idea of first situating yourself there and then taking your work there. And then the way Raro was talking about bringing African artists to the United States or building up opportunities within the continent, I think we need to look at ways of working outside of our direct sphere of influence and looking more broadly at how we can build up our homeland, because that's truly what it is. Africa is home, and we have to look at it as that. Particularly for those of us who can point to a place of origin. My father's from Ghana, so I have the privilege of being able to say, I know where my people come from on the continent. But for those of us who have been stripped of that opportunity, we can still find ways to connect to the continent and work there, whether it's within our various industries, entertainment, business, real estate. There are a lot of different ways that we can look at either building the infrastructure of various industries or working directly with our brethren overseas.
And I would like to segue Dani in, because Dani's doing a lot of big business on the continent, even in the Caribbean. How can people invest? How can, Black people make money, build up this Black economy?
I think the best way to make money.
This is for Dani. This is for Dani, not
okay.
Yeah. Dani, your mic is muted. Let me your mic. Okay, you're good.
I'm muted, right?
You're good.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great question though. So, it's funny though, because I haven't been to Africa in 25 years, since 2017. So I was actually born in Lagos, and I went to the Netherlands when I was 4 with my father at the time. So I was actually raised in the Netherlands, raised with the Dutch culture as well. You can even hear my English is totally different than most of you guys. Funny enough, I just learned fluently English, I think like 5 years ago. So I've been practicing. So my fiance actually, she encouraged me to go back to Ghana and Nigeria. She's Ghanaian, so we went back to Ghana to meet her family in 2017, 2018. So that's actually the first time after 25 years that I went back to Africa. And I had a very good conversation with my father-in-law. That's actually where it started. And he actually mentioned that, hey, one mistake he made, actually felt that he made a mistake, that he went from Ghana to the Netherlands on a very young age for a better future for his children. But all his friends right now, they have big businesses and companies in Ghana, and he felt like, hey, I've made the wrong decision. That's actually what he said to me. So he encouraged me to invest back in Africa, because he knew that I was doing a lot of things. I invest in a lot of startup companies, all of them are in the Netherlands. So he was like, hey, why don't you just start looking for opportunities here, in your motherland, start looking for opportunities in Ghana and in Nigeria as well. So that trip, I think it was a trip of like 2 weeks. I was so inspired by a lot of stories and about being back in Africa again, that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something. No matter what, I'm just gonna do something. So I went back to the Netherlands. It took me, I think, 1 week to write our business plan. And I don't know if you have those things in the United States as well, those container housings. You've probably seen them, in the Netherlands, there are a lot of them, used for student housing. So I was already inspired by one in the Netherlands, which I also invested in a couple of years ago. And I was like, you know what? I've seen so many containers, just among the streets in Lagos. I'm like, hey, I can do something with that. So I decided to start with my own first pilot project, which is a medical center of 90 square meters. So I went back, I think like 4 months later, went back to Nigeria. I spoke to some government officials, and I started working on my project. And the funny thing is, and the reason why I'm telling this story, I did not have any experience, with engineering. I don't have a medical background. I just knew that there were some obstacles in Africa, which is, a shortage of housing, lack of medical services, water, environmental issues, electricity. So I just found an idea to just combine everything together, and started with my first project, which again was a medical center. We had the commissioning in November 2018. The Dutch embassy was there, Philips Healthcare was there. I think there were like 400 attendees that came to the event. The thing was, after that video, because there was a video on the news as well, went viral in the Netherlands, like, hey, there is a Dutch guy, went back to Nigeria, and he invested over there, and and he built a medical center for for a town there, like a charity project. And after that, a lot of people, because the Ghanaian community in the Netherlands is quite big. We have a very small Nigerian community in the Netherlands. So a lot of people actually came to me like, hey, Dani, I want to invest as well. Like, how did you've done that? And what actually did inspire you as well? And I was like, I had a very good conversation with my father-in-law, but also I saw what Akon was doing, in Africa. And I had some like, hey, if he is doing something, I actually expected a kind of momentum going on of, entrepreneurs following him and just, investing in Africa, because what he was doing was great. He's one of my idols. And I was so inspired by that as well. But, unfortunately, a lot of people, they don't walk the talk, if you get what I mean. They don't always talk about, I want to invest, I want to do this, and I do that, and I'm just a doer. So I just used my own money to start with my project. And I think that's also a very important thing. You just have to just start and just do something and show people that it's possible. And trust me, I've went to a lot of shit. It's a whole
yeah, it's an adult conversation. Go for it.
I went to a lot of crap, a lot of mud, and I've showed everyone, because I'm very active on social media, on Instagram. So they saw the whole process of me, and I think you've seen it as well, Savannah, right? Like the whole process of me building my medical center, sending money to locals, because I actually work with locals only. I just knew that, I don't want to work with people from the Netherlands. I'm just going to work with everyone from Nigeria locally. And that was a challenge, let me just put it like that. But eventually, it was there as well. And by that, I decided to do an event last year. I called it the African Dream event. I invited Banky W, Kamylle, and some others from Nigeria as well to the Netherlands. So I flew them over. We had an event of 200 people, and the idea actually was to encourage more, African diaspora in the Netherlands to come back to Africa, but especially to hear from people like, like Banky, like, other entrepreneurs, like, hey, what are do's and don'ts in Africa? What they went through, through the whole business, and also why, Africa is the future. It was a very great event, Savannah, I think you've seen it as well, right?
Yeah, the highlights were amazing.
It was really great. And now I just started a company, the African Connect, which I'm now getting people from the Netherlands, back to Nigeria, and giving them a decent chance to actually start up their business. So
question for you. For some Africans coming from the West who've never been to the continent, they are going to face cultural barriers, even language barriers to some degree. How could they dive in and participate in business? Are there certain organizations that they could check in with that are good mediums for them? How would they do it?
that's also a challenge. You know, entrepreneurship is a challenge at all. I had the language barrier as well. My biggest advantage is other people's disbelief. And, you know, I had a lot of times that people, they underestimate you. And that's, you know, when you're not from there, you know, when you're from America, from Europe or whatever you are, they'll just see you as, hey, that's someone who's going to spend some money and he's probably stupid because he does not speak the language, does not understand the culture whatsoever. You know, at some point you have to trust people, you know, it's delusional thinking, you know, you can just come, you know, country and, you know, work by yourself. Like you have to trust someone. And I rather just start trusting people and then they can lose the respect instead of like, you have to win my respect, if you get what I mean. So at one point you just have to trust people as well, because you cannot do it alone. That's a fact, I can assure you that. And then that person will guide you through the process as well. And again, it's going to be a challenge anyways.
Yes. I would love to have someone else contribute. I would love to even someone name some sectors that you think are, you know, potential business ventures for people who are traveling from the West that want to invest in Africa. If someone can maybe name some sectors.
Agriculture.
So
I said real estate and agriculture.
yeah.
Okay.
I also, so I wear many hats. I also have a lot of like IT clients that work with government contracts and work with the government here in the US. And so one of the IT clients that I have, they actually are in talks with conversations over in Nigeria as well. And so with that, the IT sector is an amazing place to probably look into investing when it comes to, I can only speak to Nigeria, but I would imagine that in a lot of other countries in Africa, that it would be a good place to start there as well. But then also, for example, obvious things like electricity, infrastructure, working with that, bring over a contract. For example, the beauty of Africa in a way is, it's not really the beauty because it sucks that we're not as advanced as we should be. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that have already been created and we see they work here and we can bring them over, for example, specifically like to Nigeria and allow it to work there. So for example, a construction company getting a construction contract with the Nigerian government over there and then facilitating talks like that. For example, we complain about the roads, but rarely is anyone really doing anything about it. But if you guys can get those conversations with the government and government officials to speak to them about infrastructure, about the infrastructure, about the roads, electricity, IT contracts, because everything needs IT to really run on the back end. So those are definitely different sectors to look into. Obviously the entertainment industry, bringing the structure that we have used over here, it's proven and it does work, and allowing that to contribute in the entertainment sector as well.
Any
Amazing.
other?
Also, one thing I realized African countries need to like develop on is our waste management. It's sad to say, but our waste is being managed poorly and is ruining a lot in our communities and like even our development. You know, waste is bringing a lot of projects back because like there's like, oh, this land is used for waste, when it could just, things like that could just be recycled. So if like recycling infrastructure is being invested in right here in Ghana and other parts of Africa, I feel like that would be a good investment point to look at, because that's the main problem I see. I feel like Ghana is a very beautiful place, but for the waste management, we are not doing really great with that. So, and other African countries have been in. So I feel like with waste management, it would be a good point of view to just look at, and people from diaspora can also invest in. Because what I do in my brand, I have a streetwear brand and also an NGO. So the proceeds we get from the clothes, what we use for NGO stuff, we empower young kids to penetrate into the world as scene with Ghanaian-inspired street style culture and everything. So in my mind, I didn't really like depend on foreign investors, because I knew it wasn't coming. So I had to work hard to make the sickest streetwear designs in order for people to purchase, so I can empower my community to learn any art skill of their choice, like screen printing or photography or DJing, whatever they want to learn through the sales of clothes. So, but after we were starting making waves, like we started getting media press, that's when people really was interested in investing. So I feel like with Africans, we should be able to build a community around us, because that's the best we know in doing. We know how to build communities in like seconds. And even Black people know how to build communities. That's why there's all these gangs and everything around. It's community still. So I feel like when you build a community and you have one voice, the world can know it like in a second, and they can willing to help you. Yeah.
So unfortunately, because we started a little late, we're seeping over into the next one. So I would just like everybody to just go down the line, give us a sign off, tell people where they can reach you on social media. And I would love a one-liner that you would close this meeting with. So we'll start with Dani. Wait, Dani.
They're deciding which Dani.
Still on that?
What I always tell people is that if people like you, they'll listen to you, and if they trust you, they'll do business with you. I think that's something people should definitely keep in mind as well. Like, trust is a fundamental when you want to do business anywhere in the world.
Wonders?
Myself. Hold on. Yeah, what I would say is to focus on being valued, but don't value being liked, because a lot of us, we get into places and we want to be nice people and we want to, hey, what's up and all of that, but that stuff is not what is going to be remembered. It's all about the work you've done and the impact you brought. So me, I always aim to bring as much value as possible. I'm not really concerned to be liked, because usually when I've tried to be liked, I get hated. So when you're valued, you're respected regardless. So that's something I would definitely say to whoever's tuning in, to always bring value and focus on being as valuable as possible. In business, you're not remembered because you was a nice guy. You will be remembered because you got the work done to a high standard. And if anyone wants to follow me, is Dani Wonders on all platforms.
Joey Lit?
Yeah, so I feel like whatever you do, you should call yourself the best before the world even calls you the best, Self-belief is very important with creatives and wherever you find your world. Now the internet has made the world a smaller place, so we are all speaking from different sorts of environments, but we are all here talking about the same problems and the same ideas and the same issues. So I feel like we should invest in ourselves and our communities as much as we can. So if we have one voice, we can go further. That's all I have to say. The community.
Raro?
Okay, yeah. So first and foremost, thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of this. This has been great. My name is Raro. I am on all digital platforms as Raro, so that's RAROLAE. And then the only platform that's different is Twitter, the Raro, because somebody stole my name on there somehow. But I think the advice that I would want to give everyone is, whatever you're pursuing, make sure you're doing it because it genuinely does make you happy, because sometimes you will not see the return right away. So it has to be something you genuinely do care about and you are passionate about. And as cliche as it sounds, don't do it for the applause, because if you live for the applause, you will quit and you will become frustrated. So it really, at the end of the day, is focusing and working on whatever your craft, your talent is, or whatever you're dedicating your time to, because it's truly something you're passionate about.
Timothy?
Yeah, I'd echo that just by beginning and saying thank you, Savannah, for putting this together. It's an important conversation, and it was a pleasure meeting all of you all today. Looking forward to seeing more of what you all are doing and the prospects of working with you. For those interested in learning more about what I do, I have a website. It's timothywelbeck.com. It's 1LWELBECK. I'm on pretty much all social media. It's just my name, Timothy Welbeck. You can find me there. I look forward to speaking with you. And my parting advice as it relates to this is an old South African proverb, Ubuntu. I am because we are. Our collective power is in our collective strength. If we want to do something, we have to do it together. And that's where our power lies. Africa is home. And we have to realize that, work together with our brothers there, here, and wherever we may find ourselves.
Imani? Wait, start over again. I think it's muted.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, mine's not as deep as Timothy's, but I do want to end off by just saying, everyone, please still, make sure you're taking care of yourself during this time, because you cannot fill from an empty cup. And we, as a people, just have a lot of work to do. So just really take care of yourself. And as always, Savannah, thank you so much for having me. It was also very nice to meet everyone else on this panel. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys so much for participating. I appreciate all the amazing insight. And yeah, we're just gonna keep pushing that needle forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you later.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Where's Buka at? We're gonna get some tunes popping, and then we're gonna usher in our next group of guests. Buka, I can't hear you. Okay, audio is connected, it says. Just getting everybody on board.
Hello.
Hey, I don't see your video.
Yeah, I think you can see me now, right?
Yes, you could get the tunes popping. Everybody, we got DJ Buka in the building, official DJ of One Africa Fest. Such a blessing to have you. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure the connection is good, right?
Mm-hmm, it's good. I'm just waiting for the next group of people to get ready. Everybody's in the waiting room.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. What album are you playing these days?
Well, album, man, I'm just all over the place right now. Like,
Me too.
albums, to be honest.
We're gonna go on in like 5 minutes, so I'll let you do your thing.
I got you. So I'll just warm it up a little, right?
Yeah, warm it up, because you'll mainly come in after this one.
Okay, sounds good.
Go.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All I need is one love. DJ Buka. All I need is your love. Sweet love, yeah. All I need is your love. Yeah. Baby girl, nobody happy no. Baby girl, when we gonna sign up? Baby girl, keep it on the low.
Nice and easy.
Baby girl, nothing gonna sign up.
Nice and easy.
I'm all far away. I'm all far away. I'm all sweet love. Give me sweet love. Give me more love. Yeah. Come give me some sweet love. Come give me some sweet love. Give me sweet love. Yeah. Come give me some sweet love. Yeah. Give me my love. My love. Give me some sweet love. Give me some sweet love.
Nice and easy as we warm up the vibe. DJ Boak, you know what time it is. You know the money you take up with us. Me, I did love you, Nice and easy right now, nice and easy.
Baby girl, you find your start on. Girl, you make my head up. Anytime you know they're close to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Baby girl, I hear one go. Baby, she like me, you want to. Make we get 1 + 1 or 2. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 1 liter, 1 liter. 1 liter, 1 liter. 1 liter, 1 liter. If you only you be my desire. 1 liter, 1 liter. 1 liter, 1 liter. 1 liter, 1 liter. Only you want to be my fire. Yeah, stop working for you. Stop working for
So many times I miss you.
DJ Boak.
I know what I'm going on to. Now you got way bigger issues.
We're gonna go live in 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Gotcha. Slow down, only you to get cool vibes for now. You know what time it is. Roll out, mountain, we're about to make a run wild. Slow it time to slow down. So many things we could have been. You love me so cold. Know that I need you. Now I feel so cold. World is one of the hottest artists, by the way. I want you most. Sometimes I need you. Smooth. I never forget you. But I won't call you anyway. Nobody waits because you won't call me anyway. Baby, I'm a woman. The money come a woman. Anything about just anything about just.
Okay, we're gonna bring our panelists in. Let's bring them in. So I guess you can just rejoin in a second, or just turn your camera off. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna just turn it off and then or rejoin. Everyone goes.
I'm gonna add everybody in. We are live. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? I shouldn't be eating, but here I am. Okay, let's see. Do we have everybody in here? We're just waiting on Modesta. Just saw her. Let me see. Give it 1 second. I don't know where Modesta just went. Let me see.
I'll call her.
Yeah, see where she's at. She was just in here. I'm looking at her story. Her face is beat. She's ready to go. Oh, there she is. Cam, are you there? It says that you're connecting to audio still. I don't see your video, Kamylle. Let's see. And if you guys have the YouTube stream in the background, just make sure that if you have YouTube open in your browser, you just press mute because there's going to be a lag. So we're actually live here on Zoom. So
is this working? All right.
I can hear you.
Can you see me?
I can see you. You look great.
Oh, shoot. Thanks, you too. Oh, wow.
Just waiting on Kamylle. I don't see her video.
African people in your time. Oh, God. We could do better than this, y'all. Like, come on.
We had technical difficulties earlier, so it set us back a bit. I don't know where Kamylle is. Let me just text her and see her audio.
Wait, are you in Nigeria right now or?
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
I'm back. Is it? Oh, let's see.
This is like my first time doing this. One of my professors said we have to present our final on Zoom. So this is actually good because it's gonna help me a little bit get a little comfortable in front of the camera. I don't know. It's just weird to me.
You're always in front of the camera though.
I don't know. I always feel like I'm starting all over. Whenever I'm doing something new, I feel like I'm starting all over again. That is me. I don't know. It always feels weird.
Okay, so we're gonna get started. So I would love for everybody to go down the line.
Everybody.
We're missing 2 people, but they gave me the heads up that they can't make it. So, but everybody's here. Can you see everyone?
No, I can't. I cannot see everyone.
Oh, I don't know what you have the view on at the top of the screen. Maybe you should click on gallery view, but.
Gallery view. Oh, perfect. I can see everyone.
Awesome. So I would like everybody to go down the line and introduce themselves and tell our viewers at home what it is that you do. We'll start with Modesta and we'll go down the line.
Hi, everyone. My name is Modesta. Well, most people know me as WestAfricanDol. I'm a full-time college student, and also I am a model, an entrepreneur, and my goal is to become an actress, so I'm working towards that as well. So yeah.
Anto?
Is that me? Am I next? Hi everyone, my name is Lecky. What am I? I'm a Nigerian media personality and entrepreneur. I guess that's the easiest way to describe who and what I am. I model, I act, I host events, host television programs, and I also own a couple of businesses. I have a hair care line, I own an event management company, and a souvenir branding company. Yeah, that's me. And I'm a Jersey girl too, but I'm in Nigeria.
Jersey?
Heard you. What if like my introduction was so plain? Like you went in depth and I like that. I didn't go in depth at all. I like that.
Marsh?
I knew them before. I did Nigerian.
Hi guys, I'm Marsh Boak. I'm a photographer. I'm based in Ghana, but I travel around. Yeah, so my goal is to become one of the greatest photographers, like, in the world. I'm actually working towards that, and like, yeah. So yeah, hi guys.
Hello.
Awesome. Okay, so
I'm like one of the biggest African actresses in the world here, so, so I just had to.
Hello.
Here.
Hi.
This
Thank
is
you for
Tony.
joining.
She came to join. So,
Oh, that's so sweet.
so sorry.
We got some A-listers in the building. A-list. Okay, awesome. So we're just going to dive right in. Welcome to the Gender and the Diaspora panel. This panel is specifically addressing, what it means to be a male or a female in the diaspora, how we connect from different worlds, whether we're living in the West, whether we're living on the continent. There's so many intersectional issues that affect all of us. And I think it's important that we have this conversation. So I'll start with Anto. How has it been? Because you have a very unique story. You are African American. You were born and raised in America, and then you journeyed to the continent. How has the experience been since transitioning from America to living in Nigeria, particularly as a woman in the space that you work in?
Yeah. I think for me, like I said, I have an interesting story. I am Nigerian American. My parents are Nigerian, but I was their first child to be born in America. So I'm definitely a Jersey girl. I'm 100% American, but my parents did raise me still to kind of have the Nigerian-esque background. I kind of knew about what to expect when I came. So it wasn't so scary or so different, coming here, but there were some things or some challenges that I did face. Before I became a media personality, I was a 9-to-5er. I did have an office job. And it was pretty interesting to, even in the States, you may hear of gender differences, like pay issues, or, like women get paid 75% to a guy's dollar. So, I kind of knew about this. Okay, there's always going to be this woman issue, what have you. And especially as an African-American woman, we're always at the bottom tier. But it was a great transition moving to Nigeria because I was amongst my people. So I think that is a very, very great experience for anyone that's interested, that moving, you're really amongst yours, so you don't really have to deal with the blatant racism. There's various levels of maybe tribalism or even racism because people of other races do still live here, but it is definitely a big difference. You don't really have to feel like you have to tone down. I know a lot of us Black girls in the office space, especially us that wear natural hair or whatever we do, in the workspace in the US, we kind of sometimes feel like we need to tone down, that we shouldn't be our full Black selves. But being on the continent, you can be the girl, everybody is the girl. So you don't really feel out of place. You don't really feel like you have to be who you aren't. But I think there are different things that a woman here may face that aren't really faced so much on the other side. I can say in the corporate field, not all corporations, but there are times where a certain woman or a certain image is expected of you to do certain jobs. I won't go too much into detail, but I think most people know that, there are some gender imbalances, here in Africa. So, that those are a little bit different than what you would experience in the States. But I do think it's, I think less of it I think the gender inequalities are less the workspace-ish, but a little bit more of traditional because of what we know as Africans. That's what it kind of translates into how people kind of perceive you or treat you in the workspace.
Okay, and Modesta, you are a model. You've done work.
Why am I so nervous? It's like, this is like so new to me.
I'm done with you.
Guys, I'm always in front of the camera, but whenever like I'm doing something new, I get very nervous. So I'm gonna take my time and talk when you do ask me the question. So hit me. Just hit me. Come on, hit me.
So you've worked in the American space, you've worked in Africa as well.
Yeah.
So you got to experience the entertainment world from both sectors.
Mm-hmm.
How has your experience been working in entertainment on both ends of the spectrum, you know, working in America, working in West Africa?
Well, first I would say that it's very different back home in Ghana because I feel like their expectations is so high when it comes to specific fields. Like for instance, being in a music video, for instance, Africa is known to be, well, before back in the day when I used to watch music videos, I see a lot of light-skinned girls in music videos more than dark-skinned chocolate girls in music videos. So it has always been something on my mind, but I never really spoke about it because I was never interested in like being a part of that, you know? But ever since I joined it or became a part of it, I still felt like the dark-skinned females are not being recognized. I don't know if that makes sense because we're lesser in every field, especially here in America. So when I moved here, I was 13 years old, went straight into high school, definitely was different for me. Really didn't have much friends when I moved here. I for some reason, it wasn't something I was comfortable with right away. You know, people are just different. And to me, I just wanted to just observe and see how it is before I get myself into it. But long story short, the entertainment here in the States, I feel like it's more, what is the word to use? I feel like it's open for everyone, but then they're very picky with who they want to put into certain things, you know? You have to like work twice as harder if you're going to be in the entertainment industry here in the States. Back home, I feel like it's more easier because as long as you know this person, for some reason, it just connects right away. And the seriousness is not that high for me back home in Ghana. I mean, back home in Africa, period. I feel like people need to be more serious, like take things more serious. Here in the industry here in the States, I feel like they're taking more serious than Africa, if you ask me. I don't know if I'm answering your question because sometimes I can go off topic. So bring me back if you're losing me.
It was good. It was good. I appreciate the insight. One thing that I've noticed when it comes to females and entertainment in America, I've noticed that I think obviously colorism exists for Africans worldwide, whether you're in the West, whether you're in Africa, there's colorism. You see bleaching a lot in Africa, you see it in the Caribbean. However, in African-American entertainment, I see a lot of light-skinned girls at the forefront. You see Beyonce, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj. And sometimes I think to myself in American entertainment, is it possible for a brown-skinned girl to be as famous as Beyonce, as famous as Nicki Minaj?
Yeah.
Versus when you go to Africa, the biggest stars are brown-skinned women. Tiwa Savage, Daphne, and Peru, Niniola. So many brown-skinned women, but you still also see the colorism at the end of the spectrum. And it's so interesting and so unique. I would love to speak on colorism and how it affects women across the diaspora. Maybe Modesta or Anto can elaborate on that.
Well, I would say colorism definitely, it plays a huge role in Africa too. It's not even only here in the States because people are bleaching nowadays. I see young youth literally, they don't like themselves because they're dark skinned. And the only reason why they feel that way is because they don't see themselves on TV. They don't see themselves enough on TV or enough in the industry. Like they don't see young, beautiful, dark skinned models putting themselves out there, talking about their struggles and how they became so confident in themselves and in what they do. So like, the more, I feel like the only way for us to be, why do I feel like I lost myself? So the question is what? What is the question?
Just speaking on colorism and how it exists on different ends of the spectrum. Like I said, in America, bleaching might be popular in America.
Ooh,
however,
yes. When I was in Ghana, I never really knew what bleaching was because my whole entire family, we are dark skinned. And so like when I moved here, that was when I started thinking about wanting to become light skinned. So with my skincare product, for instance, it's called Glow Shea Butter. And it's now a company. And also I'm working towards relaunching it. Yay to me. But also it got to a point in my life where I wanted to bleach my skin and fit in as a dark skinned girl because I didn't have enough friends and people really didn't notice who I was everywhere I go. So it's neither they're staring at you and you're not telling you anything, or they're just staring at you and whispering somebody else's ears, right? So I wanted to bleach my skin and I did it. I did bleach my face at a point and my mom was like very, very mad at me. So that's how Glow Shea Butter started. So my mom and I used to make this skincare products at home and I used to hate it because I'm like, well, I'm in America. I want to use American-made lotion. I don't know. I was so, when I was moving here, I was so excited because I felt like it was going to be a better word because back home in Ghana, it is fun, but then at the same time, the education level, no, it's a bit different. You get what I'm trying to say? So when I moved here, I thought people were going to be more friendly. They were going to be more like, I don't know, fun, I guess. But I was very disappointed when it comes to like how colorism is such a huge thing here in America. It's like you literally have to sit down and get to know yourself more and more each and every single day. Have that self-love in order for you to like go out there and pursue your dreams, because you're gonna have to understand that there are people that are gonna like you and there are people that are not going to like you. So most importantly, you want to be able to be well grounded in yourself before you go out there. It's a very small world, but if you don't take care, you're not gonna fit in there just because of colorism and getting lost in between it. You get what I'm trying to say? So it is a big thing back home in Ghana, in Africa, and here too in America. It all depends on you and how you choose to handle that path of your life, honestly.
Anto?
I guess my own colorism story is a little bit different. Like I was born in the States, and the thing is, I'm like the darkest of my siblings. And my mom is very light skinned, like very light. Very, very light skinned. So when I was younger, we would go out to the store or to the laundromat or wherever, and people will always say to me, "Oh, you must look like your dad." That was always the comment. You must look like your dad. And I figured that was because my mom was light skinned. So that was the reason I wanted to be light skinned, not because I felt pressure from TV, but because my mother was light skinned and people used to always be like, "Oh, this black thing." You know, that's how I always kind of felt. That I was like, "Oh, I used to want to bleach." And my mother is very much a Nigerian woman, so she used it naturally, but she uses
the bleaching cream.
Yes, she does. She uses cream, is a fact. So I just feel like, okay, this lady uses, even when I would get like scars or things like that, you know, most parents will say, "Oh, use Neosporin." My mother would say, "I use Tura," or use Fair and White. Like she's a Nigerian lady. So, but no, I guess luckily for me, most of my friends were dark-skinned girls. So I didn't, at a point, as I grew older, I didn't really feel like I needed to be light-skinned. I was fine with whatever was going on. But I kind of always knew that, you know, people always compare me to my mom. I guess as I got in high school, you know, especially because of Lil Wayne, there was this phenomenon of red home. Like you weren't fine unless you were red. You weren't fine unless you were a light-skinned, thick lady.
Right.
So, you know, those were kind of concepts that were in my head, but I already knew I wasn't going to look like that, especially because I didn't have the body. So I didn't really feel the pressure to really need to be light-skinned. So then I moved to Nigeria and I realized that bleaching was way more rampant than I thought.
Wow.
And like it's even guys. I didn't realize that men also bleach. So then I was like, okay, this is something that's beyond me. So I do know a lot of people, not all, but a lot of people, especially women, they feel the need to bleach because of the appearance, especially when it comes to wanting to date a guy or wanting to be with men. Unfortunately, we're still in a world where so many African women feel like their purpose is to be someone's wife. And so many, they really feel like their purpose is to be someone's wife, and they feel like they don't look like wife material physically, they're not going to get chose. So many women feel the need to bleach. And for me, I find it that lots of people who bleach look worse off, but that's my own personal
100%.
But there is a colorism aspect. I definitely think the colorism aspect in Nigeria I think it's getting worse.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
I think it's getting worse. I do find that most of our entertainers are embracing whatever they are. If they're light skinned, they love being light. If they're melanin popping, they love being melanin popping. I think we are doing great entertainment wise, but the people who interact with entertainment are very few. The masses are still bleaching. I know for a fact that when people are investing in businesses in Nigeria, beauty business is key. And the beauty businesses that most people are investing in are either makeup or bleaching products. It is what it is. It hasn't changed. Even though over the past 5 years, everyone is embracing melanin, embracing dark skin. Today now, if you talk to investment gurus who won't lie to you, not the ones who tell you do tech is tech, but the ones that'll tell you if you want to make a quick return on your profits, they'll tell you to invest in bleaching products.
Oh my God.
Plain and simple.
So do you think representation matters, Anto? Because
no, I can be honest. I don't think representation, and maybe in America, I do realize that as in America, as we started getting more girls in commercials, more girls in videos. I knew when Chris Brown had a dark skin girl, everybody was like, oh my gosh, there's a dark skin girl in this video. I'm so happy to, pop lock and dropping it. But I think in Africa, it is a traditional mentality. Like for me, I wanted to be light skin because of my mother. I knew she used, it was something I've known for over 30 years now. So I don't really think it's representation. I think we have beautiful people. I think the baddest girls are dark skin because I'm a dark skin girl, obviously, but that's not enough. I think it's more of a mental, I think it's like she said, personal journey. You have to want to maintain your skin tone. We even have lots of influencers who bleached and then have gone to their natural color and they talk about their story, but there's still way more people who are still bleaching. So I don't really think it's representation. I think it's more of a psychological effect. I've always known that light skin is better, so I want to be light skin too. I kind of think that's just what it is. I think we have a way longer trajectory before we can actually get it back on track.
Yeah, it's so complex because, you have the representation on television in Africa, which I applaud. Like I said, I don't even think it would be possible. I sometimes think it's not possible that we could have a dark-skinned woman be just as big as Beyonce, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj. Right. So it's just so interesting how it affects us on the spectrum and, in what ways it coaches us and conditions us,
Right.
So, I moved to Nigeria 6 months ago, and it's been such an eye-opening experience. I went there bright-eyed and excited to hit the ground moving and do certain things. And, quickly I was hit with a culture shock that things don't necessarily navigate and move the way that they do in the West. And that took some adjusting. It has me, I'm constantly having conversations in my head with myself because I joke around. Going to Nigeria has kind of made me go back in a time machine.
Right.
So I get to live in a world that doesn't have feminism, and people are like, oh my God, that must be so horrible. But it's crazy because there's so many pros and cons with it. The pros are, I like that gentlemen still believe in chivalry. They open my door. They want to court me. They believe in marriage. They want to have a big, happy family. And, that's cool. But then at the same time, I deal with misogyny and, there's certain protections that I don't necessarily have as a woman. How can women from across the diaspora mobilize together to have their needs met? I'll start with Anto.
I think we're getting in those, we're moving in that direction. I do think that anytime something kind of happens in the West, it trickles down to Nigeria, for example. When Me Too started, I do know that same day, a lot of Nigerian women also came out about various things they were going through. So I think those kind of things help. Luckily, because of platforms like Zoom or social media in general, we're able to share our stories faster. Like I'm in Nigeria, you're in Jersey. I'm sure we have people wherever they are, people watching from all over. So because of social media, it's easier to spread our stories. So I think there has to just continue being those kind of, the spreading of our stories, the spreading of, wanting to understand. I do know for a fact that even though we talk so much about diaspora and wanting to connect, there's still this idea of, especially when you are an African who moves to the States, the idea of African American versus African versus.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
That still exists. It exists. It is. We're talking about colorism and feminism, but we still have usism. We still kind of beefing for no reason,
right?
Even amongst ourselves, and white people still beating us, so we look stupid,
Yep.
So we also have our own. So I think we kind of have to break those barriers down, and kind of realize that on this grand scale of everything, we are the majority compared to them. Honestly, if you really think about it, break down our own barriers and kind of continue sharing our stories. I do realize that the more we talk, even with a tweet, you can see a tweet that happens here, and then 5 retweets later, it has reached people from all over the world. But I do think the more we share our stories, we realize that we have so much more in common than we think that we don't. So of course, it'd be great to have official platforms, having official groups like this, people meeting maybe monthly to share their stories. I know a lot of times now people are doing kind of like similar to like angel investors. People are kind of coming together and just talking about topics and seeing how they can come together to bring monies. So I think those kind of official and unofficial platforms are definitely needed. Until we continue telling true stories, we really won't know what's happening. I know everyone right now is like, Africa's in, but Africa looks cool. We're partying, but Africa still isn't great.
Yep, I agree.
It's not awesome. I still won't advise every single Black person to come here.
Unless you have money.
Don't come here just because you want to be no. Yeah. I think we need to continue having true real life stories. And I think the more we kind of understand ourselves, it'll be easier to know how to work together to, solve these world issues that we have.
Yeah.
How important are male counterparts as allies in this space? Anto, I'll let you go.
This is the key.
Wait, he's quiet.
I want him to chime in as well, but I would love for Anto to spark that conversation.
This is the key. Male counterparts are the key to this problem. Be it Nigeria, be it Germany, be it Alaska. Male counterparts are the issue. The only reason we have something called feminism is because men exist.
Amen.
If men didn't exist, it would just be us, and we would not be having these problems. Okay.
Hello.
So male counterparts are the issue. If we want to talk about it first from the professional standpoint, we know for a fact that most of CEOs of major companies are men.
Right.
It is point blank. We know that it's obvious. So the best way for them to help us on the corporate field is to at least continue to hire us and to continue to promote us to those levels. We may not be the one chosen to be CEO, but being CFO is awesome. Most CEOs are doing nothing. So being CFO is great. We wouldn't mind being there. So I think on a corporate level is definitely to, continue to promote us in those, promote us to those levels. Also, I recently had a conversation and people were talking about, should women be given extra, concessions because of the various things we go through when it comes to either having our period or having, being pregnant, et cetera, et cetera. I do think it's fair to give us some concessions, but I do not think that we should use those as like a choice. Yeah, as an excuse. Of course, there's some days where we have we're in a bad mood.
Okay.
It's not our fault. Something,
sure, thank you.
Things are juicing up in a little bit more than usual. So I think it should be, it's awesome to take those into consideration, but I also think that us as women, we have to realize that the guy is not going to really understand what we're talking about. So we have to do our best to kind of balance all of those extra hormonal issues that we have. So that's how our male counterparts on the corporate field can definitely, treat us better and get us to those higher positions. On the personal level, when it comes to like dating, or even when it comes to how parents raise their children, I know something I realized that's very similar both in the African-American and in the African sector is that parents tend to be harder on their female children than they are on their male children.
That's so true. Oh my God.
It's what it is. As you're growing up, your parents will tell you, sis, close your legs. Your skirt is too short. Don't go and talk to that man. This one, that one, that one, that one. But my brother's out gallivanting.
Yeah, that's so true.
No one knows what he's up to. You know, our parents are just harder on us, and we kind of understand why it is, because we are the ones that give birth to children. You know, so when we are the ones that get pregnant, it's like, we are the embarrassment to the family. But it was a guy that got us pregnant anyhow. That's how it happens. So those are the things that people understand, even from childbirth and child rearing. Our parents need to start treating us better, or teaching us on the same way they raise our brothers. And I also think that they need to raise our brothers better to realize that they have to treat women better.
Amen on that.
So I think
You
know, it starts from years. We have a long way to go. So it's kind of, you know, some things are so instilled in us that, you know, we have to break down some barriers that we didn't even realize we were experiencing. As we were growing up, we didn't really realize that, you know, we were being, you know, raised harder. We didn't know that until we got old. Then we realized that there's a bunch of boys being silly because nobody told them right from wrong.
And it's okay.
So I think that, I definitely do think that it goes all the way to how we're being parented. I think also as we get older, it's a balance between chauvinism and also, as you know, advising a woman to do the right things. Let me just, another scenario. Something like in the United States, we would have, you might go on a date, you might go Dutch, or the girl might want to, you know, pay for it today or what have you. But in Nigeria, it doesn't really happen like that, which is a pro. Like for me, I'm like, I love the fact that when I go out, even if it's a boy who isn't like trying to date me, he'll pay for my bills. But I know anytime I go back to the States and I'm hanging out, I gotta pay for everything, and I'm just so nice.
If he's not trying to have some cooking, he's not paying.
But anytime I'm in Nigeria, I know that I can go out, bills on him, whoever it is.
Nigerians are known to have a lot of money, so
you know. So I think that's also, you know, where some confusion lies, because a lot of women are raised thinking that a guy is supposed to 100% take care of them, and then guys want to come out and be like, oh, I need a girl who, you know, is going to support me. She wasn't really raised to support you in that manner, so you can't really have that expectation of her. You know, I think it's important to have these conversations with her. But this is someone who was told that she's gonna move into some man's house and he's gonna take care of her.
Right.
So, you know, I think it's really important that we kind of, men need to also understand that women are taught differently, they're raised differently, they have different expectations from what the man wants. So I think it's something we really need to do is learn how to communicate very directly. Whatever your expectation is, you need to say it.
Right.
Because
right from the beginning.
From jump, because the other person probably has no idea what you're even talking about. So
yeah, I completely agree with that.
Something I want to touch on is particularly in the entertainment space, a lot of the key playmakers behind the scenes are women, but we don't always get the light shown on us. And I think I've always been a firm believer that as women, we're supposed to continue to empower and uplift each other. But I do think that there's a responsibility on the men as well to step up to the plate. And, you know, for instance, I'll give you an example. You know, us women in this entertainment space, you know, we might go out with a rapper one night and we turns up in the club and they want to put everybody on the story but the female. Even though the female could be a boss, she could have her own business. She could be.
That's so fat.
You know, but they'll put everybody on their Instagram story but the women. But there's some serious playmakers there because they associate often that women are only good for sex, essentially, and that couldn't possibly be serious contenders in the room. So I want to segue this one to Marsh. Marsh, how important is it that guys step up to the plate and tell the story, show the faces of these important playmakers that are women? Wait, hold on 1 second. Let me unmute you. Okay, wait 1 second. I think I go for it. Marsh, I can't hear you. It's muted.
Okay, I'm coming. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so Anto, actually, you know, heard everything that you said. Modesta to the same, and also Saf to the same. So what I'll say is that I think I had this conversation with you, right? When you were in Nigeria, I called you and we were having some conversations about humanism. What I want to say is that, you know, in Africa here, like in Africa, I want to say this in Africa because like, I'm not in the Western part. So like, I want to throw more light on Africa. In Africa, most of the people here who are really doing the work, are like men. Let me say that. Because let me say this. Africa is like a manly continent. Like
Oh my
that,
God.
like that is like truly, like that is true. That is facts. Like what I want to say is that most of the presidents, even most of the presidents here are like men. Like even all around the world, it have been like that because of culture. You get me? I was having this conversation with you about saying, what did I even say? What were we even talking about? I was like, most of the ladies here in Ghana, I want to talk about Ghana. Most of the ladies here in Ghana growing up, all what they mostly know is that, like what Anto said, that growing up, you're being told that, oh, you need to be with a man. Men are the ones that are going to definitely like take care of you and everything. Talking about your bleaching and everything, like it came back to men. Some came about men too as well, because like I don't know how to really enlighten this, but like in Africa, like what I want to say is that in Africa, like I feel and I know that Africa is like a manly continent. I don't know what you think about that, but like that's how I see it. And our culture has actually like proven that too as well. So it's been like that.
How important is it that males leverage their privilege to highlight the women? How do you make sure that you use your position of power to empower women?
Okay, like me.
And your other male counterparts, other men that you know.
Okay, so for me, what I want to do is that, like I said, Nipsey Hussle had this I think it was a workspace called Victor 95 or whatever. That what they do is that it's a workspace, and what they do is that every Fridays they have this activism, like like there's seminars and stuff like that. I feel to really change this whole narrative or to really empower this whole thing. I think the most important thing is to like have seminars, like people like you, like this. Like I would say that people like you play like important role when it comes to women. Like you're a boss chick, you get me? Like I don't know for WestAfricanDol, I don't know for Anto, but I know you personally, and I think like I know you play important role when it comes to feminism. I don't know about that for you, but I think like you play important role about that, and I think you like having seminars that is going to like have you on board, and other people on board is going to like change that narrative as well.
So you said, not to cut you off here, you said something about Africa being a man continent, right?
Yeah, manly continent.
Right, and I wanted to touch a little bit based on that, because I feel like the reason why you're saying that is because a man in Africa is supposed to be the provider. It's supposed to be the one who take care of this,
right,
the woman and the kids. And so
right,
the only reason why it's like that, because a lot of women are not taking leadership enough in Africa.
Right,
women are not taught to be leaders. Women are taught to be quiet and listen to their husbands, literally go with the flow. And that is the only reason why it's like that. So in order for which I think there won't be change anytime soon. The only reason why I'm saying that is because there are a lot of people in certain countries in Africa that don't even have any sort of technology. So here in America, there are a lot of boss chicks, because some women just believe that I'm not going to let a man control me and tell me what to do. A woman who don't care and want to just spend a man's money, wouldn't care about just moving around and going with the flow. So it's like it all depends on literally you, the woman, because if you believe in just taking care of your own stuff, you're not going to go with the flow with every man. But Africa is known as what you said, also because women are not taught to be, leaders. We are taught to be just quiet and going with the flow.
And let me say this. I don't know. Okay, sure. Anto, I think you can talk.
We didn't hear you.
I was saying that's why men need to step up. Men, they complain and say, oh, their wives don't contribute at home. They just have babies and they don't go to work, or girls are gold diggers, or yada yada boom bang. So if you don't go to be a gold digger, if you don't want a woman to, a woman to only want from you, you have to be the one to empower her to be useful as well. I know for a fact that there's a majority of women who are taught that they need to be, on point so that a very nice, rich man will come and marry them. That's what they're taught.
Right.
So
like,
if you want to
like
get
what I would
and make her into a wife, you need to teach her that she needs to go to work. You need to, empower her to, honey, you need to be useful. So I kind of think that's where Sav was trying to get at the point of what is the man's responsibility in this situation. If a guy is fine with being the provider and being the provider only, great. Who wouldn't want to just sit around and be taken care of? But don't then say that I'm lazy and I'm not contributing in the household if you are not empowering me to be useful. So you gotta pick your side. Don't say women are timid and shy and they don't do anything if you're not giving me the opportunity to do something.
Yeah. Right. Let me say something. Yeah. Let me say something. This was like out of like experience. I don't know if Savi, I don't know if I spoke. I don't know if we had this conversation. So I dated this Ghanaian girl, right? So after that, I literally said I would like I wouldn't go out with any Ghanaian girl after that. Let me say this. Let me say this. So I went out with this girl, right? She's really nice. Like, she's really nice, like really nice. Like, you get me? Like, you get me? Nice,
we get you.
Yeah, you get me. She's really nice and really like, she seemed productive, like through her Instagram and everything. You get me? We hooked up, we linked up and all that. And I asked her, okay, so what are you actually like? I mean, like, what are you doing now? Like, what are you doing? Like, and she told me that she was part of this pageant thing, and now she got evicted and she's been at home for 2 years without working. Yo, like 2 years without working, right? Good. So I asked her like, what is she studying in school, and like, so that I could at least like, be of like help or something. She then told me that she did aviation and she did all these aviation air ticketing and whatever. So I've got this friend, yeah. A friend's mom works at the South African embassy. So I spoke to her about it. I told her that, oh, I've got this girlfriend of mine that she's doing this, she does this, she did this in school, there's the blah, 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 blah thing. And she sent me a link and told me that, okay, she can actually hire up. So I'll send this thing to her and she was like, she's going to like submit it. I was there waiting for about like a day for her to like send me a screenshot so I can send it to the lady, right? I waited for about 2 days. This girl didn't, like, this lady never sent me nothing. I asked her that, what's up? Like, what actually happened? Like, why didn't you send me this? And she was like, she's not really into that anymore. She wants to go into modeling. She wants to do more about fashion stuff. Like, yo, this girl literally went to school for 4 years, right? To study about this course. And now she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to do that because for me, from my perspective, I feel like she doesn't want to do anything, I don't know how to put it, but she just want to do she just wants to do something that is just easygoing, like modeling. She just think like, okay, she could just take pictures and, these brands could just come, like, come to. So, but I told her that you can actually get this job, be in this job for like 2 years, save up some money. You could quit your job, then invest into whatever thing you want to do. You get me? So that I feel like from then I started getting this mentality that native women here in Africa, like most like Ghanaian, like are like that. They because of the culture that, oh, okay, like you just coming up.
Now waiting for him to finish.
Like people, like I feel like women here really don't want to do hard work. See, Sav is doing amazing work. Yo, in Ghana like that, no. Native Ghanaians that I'm saying, like native Ghanaians. Yo, people like Sav is doing 24 hours work. Like, I mean 24 hours. Like
I was born and raised in the United States of America. Hello.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Yo, we
just need to educate them.
But I also don't think that you should say that women in Africa don't want to work hard.
You can't say that. I disagree.
I think most of them are lazy. Like, that's what I think. True. Like
the forest and carry wood on their heads. Women carry buckets. I disagree with women don't want to work hard. I think women.
I know most of
women
them.
are tired of suffering and they're looking for a way out. I won't say that women are tired of working hard. If you look on any streets, women are selling plantain, selling granules. No, women.
And they have a baby on their back. Don't forget, they always have a baby on their back.
For that
But
one,
that's
what
the
I
other
will
thing that
say,
you guys are seeing all the time.
no,
I really wish. See, I really wish. I really.
I don't think you can say an African doesn't want to work hard. I'll say that.
Marsh, let's give the floor to Anto.
Okay, all right,
No,
sure.
I won't say that an African woman doesn't want to work hard. That one's crap. I can't even stand for that one. What I will say is that an African woman is tired of suffering and she's looking for a way out. And it's a lot easier to be a fine girl and take pictures than it is to be flying a plane. So I don't think that she didn't necessarily want to. I don't know her personally. I don't know her. Like, maybe she was lazy. I can't really tap into her circle. But for you to generalize this one girl that you
No, oh my God.
I would like to interject. I also will say one thing, Anto, even being the atypical African woman who might want to prepare herself for a husband, that is work. That is there's an actual effort to it, because for many women, that's the only work option that they have in Africa. And that's something that I'm really passionate about on the continent, is job opportunity and job creation for women, because oftentimes in those spaces, women do feel that that's their only option. You know, that's why you often see women, I experienced it firsthand in Nigeria, they're quick to just depend on a man financially, maybe even turning to sex work. That's a whole other conversation about how that's oftentimes the only job opportunity that they have. So yeah, getting yourself together, making yourself look cute, and telling the man that is a lot of work. It's
and also a lot of people don't have like a choice. You can go to school studying science, whatever big thing, because your family or your parents are pushing you to go to that direction or whatever. But then if you think about it, that child might not be even interested in what their parents are telling them to go study in school. So they finish school and it's like, what kind of degree is this? Because I don't even see myself doing this type of job. So a girl like that who is saying, I don't want to do that because I want to go into modeling, maybe because she actually enjoy taking pictures of herself or enjoy just being in front of the camera. And I could say me, for instance, I'm in school. When I started college, my mom wanted me to become a pharmacist or a nurse. And I told my mom, I am not interested in banker, nurse, lawyer, all of those stuff. It's not for me. I want to become an actress. I want to be an influencer. I want to be out there. I want to share my story. I cannot just sit still and expect money to come in. I mean, I cannot just sit still and work in front of a computer all day. I'm the type of person that I want to be able to like travel, go out there and make a change somehow, right? So my mom, the beginning, she did it with me. But then as time goes by, it all depends on the work and effort you put into what you want to do. So with your lady that you're not with anymore, all you needed to give her was time to figure herself out. Sometimes you have to give people time to know what they really want to do. Others is lucky for people are lucky enough to actually figure out what they want to do before college, but some don't. Some finish college and still know what they want to do. So it's all time, my dear. So you can't just say, oh, I don't want to date this woman anymore and generalize and speak. I'm not going to African woman.
No, I'm not saying that.
Anymore.
No, I'm not saying that. Yo. No, that's not what I'm trying to say, though. What I'm saying is that I'm saying this because like I've seen ladies like ladies who are like boss ladies who are really working 24 hours. You get me? As compared to some or most native Ghanaians that I know. Like they're born
and raised like that. They're born that's why you have to make your choice. If you want a Ghana woman, a typical Ghanaian woman, you go to Ghana and you get yourself a typical Ghanaian woman. And if you want a woman that is, Americanized and out there and outspoken, because Ghanaian women that are born and raised in Ghana are not really outspoken like that. They don't know how to like, let me just work so hard and achieve this. They're used to it being just there for them because the men are the one in control of their whole entire life.
Right. That is true. So like now I think we need to like get a solution on how we can change that narrative, because like it's cultural.
And that's why we're here. We have to go back home and really share our story with these kind of people and let them know that they have a voice. They can also step up and work and become a leader too, because they're not, you know, taught
Right.
to you know, to do those kind of things. So it is our job to go back to Ghana in and share to the world and have them participate in it, you know, and learn how to become a boss chick, like
True.
most of, like all of y'all beautiful people. Yeah.
All right.
So this has been an amazing chat. We've been able to, I wish we had more time. Everything's so behind today. I should have done like hour and a half panel. Honestly. But basically I would like everybody to sign off and just tell us your name, where we can find you on social media, and just hit everybody with a one-liner with some insight on the way out. So Modesta, we'll go with you first.
Well, my name is Modesta. My Instagram is WestAfricanDol, and thank you guys all for being here today. One thing that I would say is, let's just continue to spread the word. Honestly, let's use our platforms not only to take pictures and look pretty and, you know, make money, but also educate our, you know, dark-skinned youth, you know, just people in general. Let's just share our story and teach the world something about ourselves, because sometimes they do feel like they're alone. Let them know that we also go through what they go through. It's just that we are more well-grounded and we figure ourselves out a little bit, because I don't think we all have figured ourselves out completely yet, but let's share our story and then let's teach ourselves. Yeah.
Marsh?
Well, so I'm Marsh Boak, and I'm Chris Marshall Boachi, a name. So I'm a photographer, and what I do is that what I do to push Black people or to keep the culture.
There was a connection issue. Hello?
Oh, Massa, why?
And is I have an Instagram page called Marsh Boak, and what I do, I mean, like on that page. Oh my
Marsh, start over again. Just
you're back. You're back. Yes.
Just start over again, Marsh.
Am I back?
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Okay.
you're back. Mm-hmm.
So I'm Marsh Boak. I'm Chris Marshall Boachi. I'm a photographer, and I've got an Instagram page called Marsh Boak. And what I do is I focus on Black skin and like Black people. As you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but
yes.
Yes. The connection.
I am Kaptin. And I think the only thing I want to say is that as cultural shifters, I think
wow.
Okay. Marsh, your connection won't let us be great. So we're gonna have to move on to Anto now with her closing words.
Sure. Hi guys, my name is Anto, Lecky. Again, we were discussing about gender and the diaspora. So I think it's very important for us to all accept the fact that we all play an important role in empowering people of color and empowering women of color in particular. An empowered person can only benefit the world. An empowered person will not detract from the world or will make the world a better place. So we all play a part in trying to encourage the next person to do better for us. I think we all are seeing right now that the world is upside down. So the more we have empowered people who are sharing positive stories and who are helping their neighbor, then we can all be in a better place. So again, we all share an important role in empowering people of color and women of color in particular.
Yay.
Awesome sauce. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. We're gonna have to do this again soon. We need more.
Nah, please. I need to get more comfy so that I can, you know, talk more because I'm trying to get used to this. But it was awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Yes, thank you so much. Everybody have a good day. We're gonna bring DJ Buka on and
yay
hop in as we wait for our next panel. Okay, let's see. Where's Buka?
I'm trying to like end this meeting. Wait, I think it's right here.
Okay, so I'm just waiting for, there's Buka. We're gonna get you on the ones and twos while we wait for our guests to come in.
Okay. Round two.
Round two, let's get it.
Got you. You know me, I like the smooth vibes. I like the smooth vibes.
Let's get it.
Quick intermission.
We make you shine all night. If you got a lover, we can give you the charge when you know them. Tell me what's the reason why you steady coming off my line? Try to make you feel blessed. Smile, nothing serious, so we just wanna fix it. God, that man can fix it. Girl, I wanna take the better to the I wanna make it jam on me. Promise my life, oh baby, come on, baby, make it jam. Make it jam on me. Promise my life, baby, come on, baby, make it jam.
Come on.
There is a connection issue there. Buka, your screen froze, so I'm going to add everyone in. Let's see. Get everybody in the chat. Hey, 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 everyone. Buka, I don't know what happened with the sound. I'm gonna add everyone in.
Hey, hey.
What's poppin'?
Your lip gloss is fire right now.
Thank you. You know I gotta stay moisturized, hydrated.
Even in the quarantine, you gotta stay moisturized.
You know? Thanks. Okay, so we're just waiting on a few others to join, waiting for Stanley. Shay, it says he's joining. It's connecting. Let's see. But we are live, y'all. We're live on YouTube.
I've been loving these chats. I've been loving these combos you guys had. The last one was amazing. I was hyped. It's just different because me being in America, you don't get to see like those kind of conversations. You know what I mean? You don't get to see like the kind of like, I would have never thought anybody would ever say an African woman, you know, is lazy or even has the experiences to even begin to think that. But then I'm not over it. I don't know what he's gone through or what he's seen. So it just, this is why I love this whole chat thing. Is bringing people from different parts of the world to see, you know, how the world is operating during this whole thing. So thank you for that.
Yes, yes. It was a very good conversation. Hold on 1 second. We're just trying to get Shay in.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's see. I don't know why Shay's is not.
I think I just saw
Hey guys.
Hey Moni.
Oh, Moni. Okay.
Hi,
Hey,
Savannah.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hey y'all.
You know, don't be saying they can't do. He said they are very popular.
Okay, let's see.
Hey, bonjour, bonsoir, ça va?
Hey.
Ça va bien ou pas?
So we have everyone in here. I don't know about Shay's connection. He'll join us when he does. So what I would love for everybody to do is just go down the line, give us an introduction of who you are, what you do, and let's get it popping. We'll start with Keith.
Hey guys, my name is Keith Nelson, out here in Brooklyn, New York. I'm a journalist for the past, I guess I would say 10 years. I do mostly entertainment, culture, tech, and music. And I've written for Revolt TV, OK Player, Vibe Magazine, Swan Magazine, a bunch of other places. And me and Savannah, she's been somebody who's been a big supporter of mine for years, and vice versa. So I'm happy to be here and chat with you guys.
Awesome. Moni, I'll let you go next.
Oh, something going on with my life, y'all. I'm in Africa, as you can see. I don't gotta tell y'all where I'm at. With the light, you already know where I'm at.
Wow.
So authentic. I love it.
Hi guys. I'm Moni. I live in Nigeria. I moved here about 5 years ago from America. I'm Nigerian. I pretty much do TV, presenting, event hosting, throw parties. I'm a music influencer. I don't really like that term, but people have given me the term, so I've just accepted it at this point. I've just accepted it at this point. But yeah, that's what I do.
Kamylle?
Hey everybody, I'm Cam, I'm from the Bronx. I'm formerly used to be at Revolt TV, help them build their foundation with social media. Since I've left the company, I started my own firm, a consultancy basically, where I help people create and curate content. And I also work as a paralegal for the Real Justice Department, which is a women's entertainment law firm. So that's my background. Hey, y'all.
Okay, so my name is Ovie Ofugara. Some people call me OVO. Some people just say Ovie. I'm a co-owner and head of content, Nigeria's #1 music website, notjustok.com.
Yeah.
Stanley, what's good?
I'm okay, I'm popping, bro. Hey. Oh, so hi, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Stanley. I'm from Cameroon. I'm actually in Douala. That's the economic capital of Cameroon. I'm a performer. I rap, I sing, and yeah. So I'm an artist, and I'm super happy being with y'all today to make sure that we get these talks going. And I'm happy to see that we're all Corona free.
We hope.
Ready to rumble.
Okay, so let's dive right into it. This is the Music Matters panel, and I really wanted to take a deep dive today and discuss the globalization of music. A great starting point would be Billboard's decision last year to create a global charts. For so many years, we've depended on the Billboard 100, and it depends heavily on American artists and what we're charting in America, the Hot 100. And now there's a global charts because, there's global music going on. Look at Latin music. It's just taken legs of its own over these past 2-3 years. Afrobeats music. I would love to dive into that. Maybe Stanley, maybe you can elaborate first. How do you feel music is going right now globally?
I think it's going good in the sense that Ovie can easily testify because I think he's a very great witness to whatever has been happening. It's been a while that Africa. I want to really talk specifically for Africa. It's been a while that Africans has been really hustling and trying to push together that international recognition. Now it has really come. At first we used to say it's coming, but now with what our brothers are doing out there, it's getting like Grammy nominated and stuff. It's crazy, with the job I get to travel a lot and seeing all of this Afrobeat artists or African artists doing what they're doing, like shutting down shows in the diaspora, and not even just having people that are like this, are people that are just like from, not having people. Yo, sorry, I'm in the house. Yeah, so I mean, not just having people. I mean, like, it's crazy to see how a Whiskey or a Burna Boy or a Yusundu or a Fally Ipupa is gonna shut down shows in France, and you see people from other nationalities just coming in rather than just Congolese. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's way global now, and yeah, we are an internet generation, and I think we really rate and African music because it's very out there, like bah.
For sure. Keith, I would love for you as a writer, music journalist, how do you feel about the globalization of music right now and where music is going?
I feel like the globalization of music is a natural progression of, and I like the fact you mentioned Billboard, because the natural progression of what's been happening over the last, I would say 6 to 7 years, is making it so that people are able to capture how many people are really consuming music. With streaming, but what has happened is that Billboard has started to have like 1,500 streams equals one album sale. So now that anybody who listens to an album, no matter if you're in a place that doesn't have record stores or a place that has a record store 18 miles away from your home, you can still contribute to the overall music scene by just listening to music. And I think that's what's been able to, in part, show the explosion, quote unquote, of Afrobeats and other genres outside of America, because it's kind of the same phenomena that happened with hip hop. As a hip hop fan, I always knew hip hop was the most popular genre. I didn't need Billboard to tell me, I didn't need stats to tell me, I always knew it. But then once we added streaming, and now every single person listening to music is now counted, all of a sudden now the numbers started saying hip hop is the biggest thing in America. And that's the thing that happened with Afrobeat. It was always a huge scene. It just didn't have that platform yet for the world to see how big it was. And I think that now that we have a streaming, on-demand streaming industry that has, I think, about 100 million, 150 million subscribers across the world, like that's not even a tenth of the listening music world. So we had even more growth to go. So I don't doubt. Like, I think that Afrobeat and the explosions happening right now, we're only a year or two away, maybe even a year away from a Billboard #1 song being the Afrobeat artist. I believe that 100%.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen it come very close. I think Davido's "If" or "Fall" was the most Shazam song of 2019, which says so much, because people hear it and now they want to make an immediate connection with it. Like, who is this artist? Who is this? Drake even talked about that in his Rap Radar interview, that who's this moment, how important it is. So it's coming close. I agree, Keith. I think we're well on our way to seeing a #1 charting Afrobeats record within the next year. Ovie, I would love to hear your perspective, particularly seeing this progression as a journalist on the Nigerian end. I'd love to hear your elaboration.
Okay, well, on this issue, I don't mean to sound like an ingrate, but I feel like Billboard and co, they still don't rate our music, in the sense that we're still placed under like world music album charts and stuff like that. We don't really have our own designated categories yet, right? There's even the argument that Afrobeats is too broad. Like, within Africa, there's the argument that you can't just call everything Afrobeats. But even on the international scene, we don't even have that distinction just yet on like Billboard charts. So that's a problem.
It still falls under urban.
Yeah. All, if Davido, I remember when IOJ had this hit song, Your Number, they placed it under what? Like dance hall. It was under dance hall. So yes, there's that progression. Billboard, these guys are paying attention to us now, but I still feel like there's a long way to go. We don't make world music, and you can't just, if you place it under urban, then you're placing urban music is so wide. That and Afrobeats itself is pretty wide too, so I don't see why we should just be placed solely under an urban category, you know. So shout out to Billboard, shout out to the Grammys, but I think we need a standalone Afrobeat recognition at this point.
Yeah.
Or should I say Afrobeats with the S? Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's almost like they just give us our category, they call it urban, and they're basically like, whatever the Black people y'all doing over there, that's
Exactly. Exactly. And that's
so we definitely need better specifications for sure.
for sure. Yes.
I would love to speak on the infrastructure of music in Africa versus in America. It's two totally different vibes. A question that I often get since I've been in Africa has been, you know, are the major labels there? How does it work? Like blah, blah, blah. And from my experience, some of the biggest artists are not signed to major labels. They don't need Western recognition or Western support to make their music blow. So Moni, I would love to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I don't really know if I'm supposed to be saying this, but apparently all the big labels we have in Nigeria are scams. I don't know if it's true.
And when you say big labels, do you mean like the recognizable Western imprints of the Universal
Music Nigeria, Sony Music Nigeria? Do we have Virginia? I'm not sure. I know a couple of people that have worked at Universal Music Nigeria, and you know, they're not really everybody's looking at me like, did she just say that? Why are you looking at me like that? I know y'all heard, I know you guys have heard this too. Don't come and look at me like I'm crazy.
No. I think those in Nigeria are less of a bigger scam than those in Francophone speaking Africa, because these guys are killing us here.
No way.
Do they have offices in Nigeria? Are there like label offices in Nigeria at all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much, okay, so let me give you guys an example. My friend, she was working at Universal Music Nigeria, and I mean, I can't really be on anybody's side because I don't know the stories from two sides pretty much. So pretty much she said she started working there, and you know, every time like she would say that this company is not structured, maybe she would try to send an email on how they could be better structured, and then you know, they just fired her after a while because they just felt like, why you always talking? Why you opening your mouth? So they just fired her, that kind of thing. And then she also says that a lot of these labels, they take money from their American counterpart. Like, let's say, for example, Universal in America gives Universal Music Nigeria money. They take the money and do their own stuff with it. I don't know if it's true. Don't quote me. I don't know, but that's what I heard. But I'm not gonna lie. A lot of these artists, I don't think they should sign to major labels. We have so much now. We have so much. There's so many things you can do to push your music. You don't need a major label because you go and sign split sheet. You go and sign your life 7 years contract. Or you look at YC, for example. YC didn't even sign to a major label. He signed to a tiny label. No pun intended. And they took all his shit. He signed to a label and he has one of the biggest songs in Africa called Juice. This man has not seen 1 naira from that song. So guess what? Don't sign to no labels, y'all. Unless maybe.
Moni, man.
We have a label rep in the chat. We have Shay Jones. Shay, I would love to get your take on this. And Shay, you weren't here during the introduction, so please introduce yourself as well. And I would love your take on the label side of things.
Hey everyone, I'm Shay Jones. I'm representing Aristocrat Records.
Hi Shay.
How's everyone doing?
What's up, Shay? Dope.
That was good. Stanley, love your music, bro.
Thank you so much, man. Comment ça va?
Thank you.
And nigga don't know what you said.
Come no, hey, look. I didn't go to school to learn French. But yeah, but not everything Mo had to say, she has a point, especially in Nigeria. She has a big point on that. You know, most record labels do just take the money and do what they want to do. Most record labels, they're more like startup businesses. So it's usually someone has money, they wanted to put it in, see how it goes, but they don't really look at it from a 10-year plan or a 5-year plan. They just look at it like, look, I have 2 shots. One goes out. If it works, it works. If the second one goes and it doesn't work, they will sleep on you. That's most practices here.
So how is that benefiting the industry then? Like, you're not really making any money if you're not investing in the longevity.
It's called every man for himself, sis. It's called every man for himself. That's what it's pretty much called.
So that's true, right? That's true. That's most labels. But we got some labels such as Aristocrat Records. We got some labels such as Mavens. You know, they're trying to do we all try to do the right thing. We do the 10-year plan and we look at the longevity, the brand. So it's really just a few people really doing it for the long term. And there's really such a few people that even care about A&R in music to this point. So that's what I would say.
I have a question
here too, though. They don't really care about A&R and music here, as like, unless the artists themselves like attract a certain level of attention or have such a talent that you can't deny. Like, they don't really care about A&R and artists anymore, because artists also know now that to compete, you have to come with a certain package. Like
clear, clean and clear.
Yeah. A&R now is just basically your artist. It's basically artists getting themselves popping, and the labels like, we got money to put you bigger places. So it's like, that's really what.
Which is trash.
Yeah. I mean, it's trash, but at the same time, it's like, I think it all depends on how much the label take it from you. Because honestly, like, I can see how a smaller artist who can get viral not know what to do after you get viral. I know a lot of artists that got like big songs online and have no idea about songwriting, about publishing, songwriting, shit. All they know is I got 1 million views on the gram, and that's all they care about. And like, I think the label still has a place to help them out understand, like, hey, yo, get that shit back, get that paperwork done. Make sure. I think they still have but it's all about how much percentage you take out of the artist for that kind of advisory work, which they can find out themselves. But I mean,
I think since the inception of the music industry, there was never any intention to educate the artist on how to be financially stable. So I don't think that was ever like up for offer. I think that the intent of the A&R is to groom the artist into that superstar that people will follow and will like. That's why child stars do so well. We're not going to say all child stars, but that's why you see like there is a grooming of stars at a certain age, because we want that audience to progress with them until they're 30. Like, when they're 30 years old, now they know, like, yes, they all are going to spend their money on Beyonce because they grew up on Beyonce. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, they're going to spend their money on Rihanna. Like, that's why these certain superstars still maintain that status, because they built such a legacy that people fund. Money goes there, you know? So we have to remember, it's a business.
So now what we do, you're right about this, probably no more A&R really going on. But so at Aristocrat, what we pride ourselves on mostly is A&R and strategic placements and planning. So when it comes to our artists, Burna Boy was a success because of the A&R that goes into it. I work with that management. We still A&R music till today. That's why African Giant was such a success. That's why the next album is going to be such a success. Now, after Burna, there's been other artists. I've been opportune to work with Kel-P, and I saw Kel-P's growth from the day one. Yeah, Kel-P, I saw his growth from day one, and I'm one of his personal managers. So watching him grow for 1 year and being where he is, it wasn't just because of the talent. It was because, yes, he's hardworking, but there were people behind him A&Ring for him. Also telling him, yo, look, this beats, you need to give it to that guy. When you go into that session, this is the folder you need to play. That's the high success.
Yeah. So Shay, what you're elaborating on is, well, I won't let you continue, and then I want to elaborate on that.
So another example is, we had a camp for Shay for new music. So there was this artist that I really, really believed in, and I was like, yo, this guy needs to be here. Some people didn't really care, but I'm like, look, I will bet my money on this project that if this guy is here, we will make more hits. We will find those hits. And let me tell you, I fought for that guy to be in that camp. And the first day and the last day of the camp, it was 5 days. First day and the last day, I got one hit the first day. I got one hit the last day. So it's like when you A&R it, it still works.
I agree. I think A&Ring is not dead, and I'm a firm believer in that. I'll always push for the A&R role because it's so necessary. Artists need it because artist development is essential. It never ends. One thing I want to double back on is we're talking about the industry's never been set up for artists to really make money. And I think that it's such an educational gap there oftentimes, because I'll give you an example. Living in America, I've worked in PR. I meet white artists and they'll have so much money. And then I'll meet like one of the biggest rappers and they don't have any money. And it's just so mind blowing. I'm like, what is your contract looking like? Do you have a publishing deal? You know, there's so many question marks that go into it. And that trickles down to Nigeria and the African music scene as a whole as well. I've met artists who have not seen a penny from huge records. How do we make sure that these artists are getting the education that they need? Shay, any artist working with you, it would be a privilege because you have a team that's very knowledgeable. But to the average artist who might have been in the village yesterday and they didn't have a car or bed to sleep on, and then they blow overnight and they got the biggest record in Nigeria the next day, how do you make sure that they are hip on the things that they need to know, and what are resources and things that they should be reaching out to seek more knowledge?
I would always say the first thing they should do is just go online, ask Google. That's the best and first thing. Then after that, ask your industry friends, if you have any, ask them those questions you found on Google. Those things you've learned on Google, go test it out with your industry friends. After that, pray to your God that you find the right management that will also hold it down. That will hold it down with you.
I think a lot of artists don't realize the importance of educating themselves. You know, it goes back to you saying that you go on Google. You know, think about most line of work. If you're in IT, if you're into IT stuff, you take courses, right? You take classes, you learn the trade. So a lot of artists don't really take that time to sit down and learn the business of it, and learn the art itself. You can't blame them. Why can't you blame them?
OVA, somebody that is coming from the village that has never had a steak.
Okay, but
and it's signable.
Yes, it's going to sign, but at some point you still have to learn, right? So by the time you start getting that exposure, you know, you now have that hit song, you have money, you're starting to tidy up yourselves, you have access to the internet. Everybody has access to the internet, even people in the village.
That time is too late.
No, but at the very least, you have access. You understand? The knowledge is there. If you have data, you have access to the knowledge. You know, some people don't even know what a split sheet is.
But some of these stories are like, I think the thing about it is that a lot of what happens in just human life is that we don't have to search for certain things that have happened so often that it's kind of like traditional. So like you don't have to ask somebody, should I look both ways when I cross the street? Because it's been so ingrained into your head. You know that as a society, I feel like at this point we've had enough stories of decades of people getting shitted on with deals. People getting fucked over from deals. Like at this point, it should be to the point where if you're a new artist, your first thought, no matter where you are in the world, should be, how am I getting fucked over? That's it. Once you think that, you'll figure everything else. You'll figure
exactly.
I guess.
You do the research you need to do. You carry out that research. No one would need to tell you, ask questions.
Anybody in 2020 who still lives with the dream of I'm gonna make a song, get signed, and be a multi-millionaire, that's all their fault. It's 2020. It's not 1998. It's not 2005 no more. It's 2020.
I agree with him.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add something. I mean, I think it's very important to get educated when it comes to, you know, to what the music business is all about. So it's true that it's hard for someone who just came from the rural background, like from the village, to come because you're super excited and everything. Because myself, for me to get versed with all of this, like when I just came on, you know what I mean, in 2013 with my first hit song, I mean, I didn't know what distribution was, you know what I mean? Like for me, I was just checking, I mean, you check your YouTube videos, they blow up. You go SoundCloud, you be like, yo, the spins are really crazy and stuff. But now people won't be coming in here like, yo, are you making money? Are you making money? Like, I'm like, yo, I wasn't really getting it, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know what it was to get a stylist. I know I styled myself, you know. you know. So I mean, it's all crazy. I think education has to come into play. I don't know what's being taught in our elementary schools and stuff. You know, what I mean, like music classes also have to involve. You know, because now we are in the world has changed. You know, I mean, like the internet world and you know, everything is gone digital and you learn because you get screwed. You know, I didn't really make money with my first song like that. You know, I was just very excited. Like, yo, man, this is me. Nobody knew me before. All of us coming, I finally came or performing, winning, getting awards, and da 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 da. You know, I think it's different now. So I think it's up to every artist today to like you have to do your homework. You know, you have to be very curious as an artist. You need to be creative. You have to be super curious, like to know what's happening, because there's a lot of money in there. We can see from those who are existing. You know, what I mean, you see these guys have made deals. It means there's something. You know, what I mean, at the bottom. And you might want to go down and see Mr. Aristocrato. He's gonna be like, yo, bro, he'll give you something to go sign that's not gonna be like in your favor, you know. So that's why it's good to have some industry friends. Be like, Baba, what's up? What's happening? How does this thing work?
Are you signed to a major label?
Oh, hell no. Like these guys followed me. Like, I'm like, because my question was like, if you want to, I mean, okay, because Universal, you have Universal Afrique Francophone, you need the French African unit and Francophone African unit, the one in Cote d'Ivoire. You have Sony as well. They're all based in Abidjan, like the sister country, and that's in Cote d'Ivoire. And they were like, yo, Stanley, come with us. I'm like, okay. My team and I, we sat, I'm like, okay, you know, I already have endorsement deals. Like, for example, I'm blessed to work with Guinness, you know what I mean? I'm a Samsung ambassador now, and da. I'm like, okay, we on our own, we're able to do our own thing. Like,
okay, that's cool.
Can I ask a question real quick? I just want to ask something I've never known, me being in America, for everybody who's in Nigeria, and is being a music artist a desirable profession? Because in America, a lot of artists, you know what I mean, a lot of black men, being a music artist is one of their only ways at like extreme wealth without college education and a lot of other things. Is being a music artist in Nigeria the same thing, where it's like this is one of your only ways to get wealth?
No.
Nah.
Being a superstar is a desirable profession. But being a musician is not.
So basically, I would say no, that's not how we see it here. I think now, yes, because people want to be superstars in Africa. It's different now. Just being a musician, like playing in a cabaret, it's you don't really make money like that. You know, you want to blow up and be super big. But you know, the parents in Africa are very cautious with when it comes to choosing that career path. But one of the simplest ways for you to really make it with your family support. For most families in Africa, you need to go to school first. You know, I'm like, at least have something, a backup, because the parents are always like, oh, please have a backup, because you never know, the industry is super tight, so it's not the same. It's not that same kind of, like in America, you wake up with basketball and rap with you, like you just born with it.
Rap, yep.
Oh yeah, that's it's not the same thing. But yeah, so I was basically saying I didn't want to, my team and I, we didn't want to get signed to a major level, because I mean, where I come from, Africa, we are, I'm blessed. I'm like, for example, in Cameroon, I'm blessed to be like the very first artist to have an MTV award. I'm like the first artist ever to have it, which is our own kind of Grammys, right? I beat Burna Boy, by the way, in 2013.
Okay.
So yeah, Niger. So basically, I'm like, if I have all those things, endorsements, I have a couple of shows and things going on for myself, why would I sign to a major label in Africa? I'm like, nah, let me sign in France, in Paris, direct. Why do you want to come and control my own music here? And I've noticed that all of these artists that are signed to major labels in Africa, none of them, if they're blowing, they stopped blowing, right? Yeah, if they're blowing, they stopped blowing. And no one that is new is blowing somewhere.
Yeah. It's
did
true.
They come here? Yeah, did they come here to kill talent? Like, were they sent to come and kill the talent? Yeah, it's crazy, you know what I mean? Yeah, man.
You know what's interesting? I'm still observing a lot of the labels that are coming from the West and establishing fronts in Africa. They still don't understand or have a background of how to actually market African music. So majority of the time, the major artists that I meet in Nigeria, they are with homegrown labels like an Aristocrat or a Maven, or they just go the distribution route. It seems like distribution companies do very well in Africa. It's just the art between the artists themselves and their management. They know how to market the music better than a lot of these big label fronts, which is interesting. I would love to segue to, do you feel like African artists have to go to America to blow? Because I look at someone like Davido and Wizkid and all the way to D'banj, they cultivate their own following in Africa. They'll have millions of followers. But do you feel like in order to get that global recognition, an African artist has to go to America?
No, it's actually the other way around. You have to come back to Africa. Like, look at IOJ, for example. IOJ was actually doing very well. I mean, I'm not going to say he's not doing very well, but he's been in America for quite some time, and Baba no de blue again. I mean, keep saying he's dropping new music. We're not hearing new music. I don't know. I feel like an American label has held him hostage, to be honest. And look at Davido, for example. As Davido said when he signed that with Sony, they bamboozled him into trying to fit into American sound, and he dropped the worst album of his life. He had to come back to Nigeria. He had to come back to his roots in order to get that sound. So yeah, that's what Davido said. He did not like that album that he dropped. So I feel like you need to just stick to your roots. You need to stick to Nigeria. Like, I know a lot of my American friends that do music in America. They actually, like, I know about 5 to 6 Nigerian artists in America that the day that they step in Nigeria, they're going global. I am telling you, America is not the place. That's why I moved to Nigeria. When I graduated college, I started my YouTube show, Talk. So I started that before I graduated college. And literally 2 weeks later, I packed my bags and I moved to Africa, because I was like, there's no point of me interviewing all these artists and I'm waiting for them to come to America for me to get them on my show. Let me just move to Africa. And now here I am. So I think it's the other way around. I don't think you need to.
And you're doing well. You're doing well for yourself, man.
Yes, thank you. I am trying small.
Yeah, Moni is definitely. Moni is not wrong. We don't need American success to be successful. You can be successful back home, and then if you're successful enough, the world will pay attention.
Yeah,
the UK will pay attention. We have African-based artists selling out stadiums across the globe. You know, so if they didn't have to come to America for the rest of their life, they'll still be superstars. It's not a big deal. You know, I mean, it helps because America is seen by most of the urban world, in fact, the whole world really, as the, should I say, holy grail, as the place that you need to conquer, you know, but it's a nice, how do they put it, the feather on your cap, nice extra layer, but it's not the be all end all.
It's all about like expectations. I think personally, it's all about expectations. Is like, what do you think a superstar is to you? Like a lot of people think that a superstar is, if I sell 2 million records, that's a superstar. I'm done.
Yeah.
Something I gotta sell 20 million records to be a superstar. I feel like America's youth right now, me being America and understanding how complicated the music scene is right now, I think America's youth right now is more so just being a place that you could go to and get a lot of stuff done in a very short amount of time. Like you can visit all of the major record labels by spending 3 hours in New York City. And that right there is an advantage that no place in the world has. While everything is digital now and virtual, and like you don't need to be there physically, there's still something to be said that you can go to New York City and leave there with almost every major record label knowing who you are. You know what I mean? That's kind of a what you might need if it's not working in Nigeria. If it's working in Nigeria, don't think you need America. But if it's not working, you might want to try to use the jumpstart of a system that's already been placed there.
I was gonna say, because like I was gonna ask Savannah to like frame success. Like what is the barometer for success? You know, especially if we're talking on a global level. And I mean, when you started this conversation, you made mention that Billboard has just recently started to count, you know, some of these global hits. And it's like, well, then how could you be an accurate barometer for success if you're not counting everybody? You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you gauge that for yourself? And this conversation extends beyond just one industry too. It's like, we have all of these different award shows and honors and things that, you know, people really aspire to having, but the reality behind why people want certain things or why somebody wants a Golden Globe or a Grammy or an Emmy and certain things is the financial implications that come with that. Like now that I have an Emmy, my price went up. You know what I mean? Like that, my price went up is not just like a cultural coin term. It's like there is financial implications attached to these awards. And so that's why it's so that's why we can have conversations of racism and of sexism and all the other isms in the world when it comes to award shows, because there is a direct financial implication to being boxed out of that. You know, so when we talk about the Western music industry versus anywhere else, it's like, well, the foundation of the mainstream is here, right? So if they built this foundation to box people out, how can you ever make plans to get in? And why would you want to be in that system? Which is why I fully agree.
I was actually going to say that. You'd be surprised that. Sorry.
No, which is why I fully agree with Stanley's approach to music and how he's dealing with things, because why would I want to be a part of that when I already have proven data and people and, you know, money coming in that I don't need that system. Why would I want to be a part of that? You know what I mean? So the allure and how we define success, I think is more of a conversation there too. You know,
does everybody in the chat room, Cam and everybody else, do you think that coming to America makes it easy, or being accepted in America makes it easier to be a superstar?
No.
Yes, because the system is built here. It's like if the mainstream of music, right? All these different Motown and all these other different labels that started umpteenth years ago, right? Television companies, mainstream media itself starting here. How can you gauge that in a different way? Now, what I will say is I don't think it's a necessity for other cultures to blow up in their regions, because you have your own demographic, you have a whole fucking continent. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you don't need this little small piece of nothing, right? There's just a money machine that's being pumped through here. And I think that this time that we're in right now is showing that. It's showing that, hey, by the way, like, America is actually really small, and there are billions of other people out here that are way more lit, like, that do way cooler things, and the culture is here, you know? Like, I don't know, that's just how I see it.
I love it. I love it.
One thing's for sure is being in America, right? If you become a star in America, you're a global star. That's just reality, right? That's just facts. You know, so you could be whoever. Think about the big rappers or singers, whatever it is. If you're an American star, because the whole world pays attention to America. That's just the fact. However, you can be a star outside of America and still be successful.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to be in America to be a star.
There are a lot of stars in America that are not superstars.
Yeah.
Say
what? Do you feel like is it a matter of physically stepping foot on the ground of America, or can it be accomplished from satellite positions? Like, I'll give Davido as an example. He's not really a good example, only because he's done so much. He's done so much footwork on the ground in America, so I would be a little naive. I would be a little. You said same with Burna Boy?
You can use Burna Boy, because I don't think Burna Boy did that much groundwork in America, and he became a global superstar.
Exactly. Do you
feel that's what I'm saying. You don't need America to be a global superstar.
Exactly. His sound took him to America.
But did America help him become a global superstar in a sense of, like, the Grammy nominations and the big exposure? Did America accepting him become?
America helped. Let's be honest. Kanye West, when he titled his album "Yay," right? So that was the beginning of Burna Boy really taking off, because we love Burna Boy in Africa, right? We already knew he was really good. But when Kanye West's album was titled "Yay," Burna even tweeted it at the time. Burna's streams went up 200%.
Whoa!
For his song titled "Yay," his streams went up. You had people from all walks of life paying attention to Burna. So let's not forget that simple fact. It did.
What I can also add is, like, I think we've been saying it round and round, but I think you don't really need to go up in Yankee, as my brother say. You know what I mean? For you to be accepted home. I think it's hard. I think, you know, Africa in general, we are really proud of our continent and our music and everything, our culture. But we are also super proud when we have actors or artists that go way beyond the continent to make us proud. Like, I just felt so happy to go to. I was in New York, and I went to H&M, and I heard Yusundu's music playing. I'm like, oh wow! Oh, I was like, I went to see the DJ. I'm like, yo. I give him some of my music. I'm like, yo, play. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah. You know, so
music at department stores. I've discovered music at department stores.
So I think that for me right now, I'll speak for myself. I'd rather be loved in my hometown, in the neighboring countries, that is Cote d'Ivoire, Gabon, Chad, Central Africa Republic, you know, Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Conakry, and now I start looking at, let's say, Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, Angola. I mean, when you are loved in Africa in general, I think the world is going to know you and respect you a little bit more. So I think stepping into America to get, it depends on how, you can also have branding as an artist. You know, as an artist, for example, you know, you can get respect from back home if you, I think Savannah and I, we spoke about it a little bit. If, for example, I mean, you know, it's all branding. We're like, yo, Stanley's dating Nicki Minaj, or they hanging out together in LA. And I know my music, but it's big news for my people in Africa. Yo, he's hanging out with Go up as well. Your prices go up as well. Appearances and everything. Like, want to smell this guy because I want to also hear the perfume that, okay, that guy is going, it's all strategy. But it boils down at the end of the day, it's just better for you to concentrate and create your sound and follow your path and try as much as possible to open with your music so people can love you. And I think the best is coming and the best is here. We just have to keep working. And yeah, Ovie.
There's something based on what you just said, Stanley, right? And just piggybacking off what Cam said earlier about your price going up, right? People like P Square, they were already big back home, but the fact that they worked with like Rick Ross,
a good name,
and certain American artists, that made their price even go higher. So that is like, in a way, it is kind of like an award, is a step up when you're working in America, when they see you doing things internationally. It just makes you look bigger. Makes you look
But
grander.
IOJ did a song with Chris Brown. Did his price go up?
No, but see, let's forget IOJ. IOJ never had that foundation in Africa, right? Yeah. He never had that foundation in Africa. Yeah. But the ones who have had the foundation in Africa, who are big in Africa, by the time they start working with these international artists, it helps them look even bigger, because it's not right now. At that point, it looks like, they are mingling with the stars. They're mingling with Nicki Minaj. They're mingling with Rihanna. All of that. So social status, exactly. So if they're charging $10,000 normally for a show, after a song with Rick Ross, it's going to be 15 grand.
What's interesting? It's a catch-20. It's like it works both ways, because even in America now, if they see an American artist go do a record with an African artist, now everybody's like, hey, yo, bro, you global, like you out here, blah, blah, blah. Because even Americans live in a bubble. I'm telling you, even when I moved to Nigeria, people see that I know all the top African artists now, and now they're like, the price goes up because they're like, oh, she's international. Americans even live in a bubble at times. And I think it's just like human nature. Sometimes you have to leave where you grew up or your neighborhood, because people have to see you in another setting to see you shine a bit brighter. But something I really wanted to talk about that I'm super passionate about is the direction in which American entertainment has gone. One of the big driving forces for me and wanting to move to Africa is because I feel that the entertainment scene is still very much so organic. It's more authentic. Behind the scenes in America, often what I'm finding is that a lot of the voices behind Black entertainment in America right now are white people. You walk into these labels, you go into these publications, the head of hip hop is a white person, you know what I mean? But when I go to Nigeria and I walk into Maven Records, I'm like, sheesh, this is Black owned. Like, this is incredible. Like, y'all still own your culture. You still are able to preserve it. So now with the shift happening in Africa, and there's all eyes on Africa, how do we make sure that things are preserved, that the culture is preserved? Because I'm going to be honest with you, when I look at American entertainment, it almost looks like a lost cause. We've given the music to Post Malone. We no longer really have a say. And also that goes to the fact that we don't own a lot of these entities in America. Black entertainment might be mainstream. It might be the most popular genre. However, we don't own these labels. We don't own these publications. We don't own these creative agencies. How do we continue to preserve culture for Black people globally?
I think that the way that we preserve these cultures for Black cultures globally is that I think that we need to have more artists have genuine acceptance of music outside of America. I am tired of the same 7 artists being on DJ Khaled's album. I'm tired of the same 4 artists being on Drake's albums. I'm tired of the same 5 artists being on Rick Ross's album. It's like, at this point, the way you preserve it is to show that Black music is not just American music. That's the way you do it. And I feel like a lot of artists are missing out on that because they want the bag. They want the clout bag. Like Drake doing a song with Cardi isn't for an artistic reason or because they compliment each other artistically. It's for the bag. You got fans, I got fans. Let's get the bag. And I think American music is so focused on the bag, we kind of homogenize the music. So that because you homogenize the music to be able to capture the biggest demographic in the music buying community, which I have to say it is white people. Most people buy tickets, who buy albums, who do most things financially in the music industry in America, white people. And that's why a lot of artists make homogenized music where it sounds like, wait, you wouldn't say this around any of your black friends. Like Drake Tootsie Slide. That's 100% homogenized music trying to go to the TikTok audience. I would love if Drake didn't use WizKid for one album. I would have loved if Drake didn't use the whole Afrobeat shit for 1 or 2 albums. Why not use it? Why not? It's just a lot of artists are using black culture for popularity and not for authenticity, and that's why a lot of black culture is being like segregated to like white artists as the arbiters of what's great. And I think that once people like Beyonce, amazing job with the Lion King soundtrack, loved it. There was some inconsistencies in cultures, but it was still a good representation of black music and other genres too. And I think we need more of that. We need more big artists, major artists, being like, you know what, black music is bigger than America.
Okay.
Yeah.
My personal opinion on it, and tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm steering too far off of your topic, Savannah, but I think that when we talk about owning the power of creative control in these spaces, is you need to just really realize and keep in your mind that money does not equal that power. Money does not equal that creative control. So that needs to be written into your contracts too. Like, we just need to be wiser about how we go about business, because it's not like it's only not offered if you don't request it. It's only not available to you if you don't know your value in that situation. So if a label is coming to you presenting a contract of, let's say it's 3 million, right? So a $3 million contract in this economy is like, oh, wow, you're actually like somebody, like they really want to put a bag behind you. So that's understanding, like in that moment, you should understand that you have such a value in that market that warrants you requesting a certain level of creative control, a certain management team. You know, that's how you navigate that. And as Keith said earlier, you know, there's been enough stories about artists losing that power or not taking advantage of the opportunity that they had to control that space. You know what I mean? Like, and so I think we just have to begin to be, not only be knowledgeable, but use that knowledge, like apply it. Like, don't just listen to TLC talk about how they got all these Grammys and don't have $1. And you have that imprinted in your mind, but then you don't remember that come signing day for yourself. You know what I mean? And that's across the board. So, you know.
Preach. Preach.
We continue protecting the art. I'm going to be honest with you. Like I said, with hip hop in America, I think irreversible damage has been done to the art as a result of hyper-capitalism. You look at the music industry in America, the type of music they put out is cheap. It has no real replay value a year from now, but they put it out because the average consumer who is a white person, they're going to buy that ticket to a Rolling Loud festival. They're going to buy that piece of merch because they like cheap music. Cheap will always sell. How do we preserve it? Because the major label fronts, they are establishing presence in Africa now. White people, they've shown us what they do time and time before. How do we control the narrative?
One way is, I think that a lot of artists should start doing like a lot of local concerts in Black populated areas that give discounts to the residents. So like J. Cole did something with Youth Festival where I think residents of Raleigh got a significant discount compared to the people who buy regular tickets. Because the people who buy those $800 VIP tickets are the ones who have disposable income, which is usually not Black people. But if you tell people in that area, hey, you live here, we're going to give you a ticket to see SZA, Kendrick Lamar, SZA, Big Sean, J. Cole, 21 Savage, Ari Lennox for like $70 as opposed to $300, that makes people more, that brings more of the Black fans to you, and it makes you be like, you know what, I don't need to like spread my word out and like kind of water down my message. Like everybody can't be Beyonce, but what Beyonce did was she got enough money to say fuck white people. She got enough money to say I don't need you, motherfucker. And that's something that I think a lot of artists who have that money need to start doing. They need to start saying, I'm gonna start doing a Super Bowl concert inspired by the Black Panthers. I'm gonna start doing albums where I sample Fred Hampton. I'm gonna start doing things that is significantly and specifically and no way you can even confuse it for anything else but Black culture. I think that that's what the major artists could do to make sure you preserve it. And even the smaller artists who are developing to the big artists, like the Gunners, the Little Babies, the Playboy Cartis, who are developing to the bigger artists, they need to start saying that we own this shit and you guys are just visitors to what we're trying to give to you. That's what I feel like. And that all starts with prioritizing your Black fans.
Yes.
Yeah, and in relation to what you just said about telling them we own this shit, right? It goes back to the very first point we made about these guys coming to, recognizing all of African music as Afrobeats or as world music. So what is happening is like they're coming out to categorize our music for us, when in reality, you cannot group a Timaya with an Odunsi. They don't make the same kind of music, right? But in America, they'll say they're all Afrobeat artists. How are these guys don't make the same music? So at some point we have to put our foot down and be like, okay, no, we are not all Afrobeat artists. Even sometimes they even group Southern African artists as Afrobeat artists. People making house music. No, that's not Afrobeats. Or Diamond Platinum in East Africa. As when they just think Africa, they think Afrobeats. So we can't really just let these people define what our music is on a global scale. So we have to make sure that distinction is clear. I'm not saying we have to split Africa. I'm just saying that our sounds, we have to make sure, okay, they know that this is actually Afro dancehall. This is not just Afrobeats. They know that, okay, Fela's music is Afrobeat, right? They know all these different classifications. We know there's the Alte sound that is coming out. They have to know, okay, these guys are making alternative music. They are not making Davido's type of music, So we can't just let the white people, define our music for us as it's growing, because that's technically what they're doing right now. So I feel like that is one way to retain our culture and make sure it remains the way it is.
Okay, go, Brandon.
I think the way to keep our music, honestly, when it comes to Afro beats in general, I don't think white people want us to change Afro beats, in my opinion. From the business side, I don't think white people want us to change it. If anything, they usually want, when you're submitting music to them, they usually want your music. They want Afro beats. They don't want you to come on that beat and then start singing it like an American would. They actually wanted you to do you, because they know that that's what's gonna still sell, you doing you. But the thing is how to keep our culture, and that is by the artist and the people behind the artist. So if artist A says, you know what, I'm going into this video and I'm gonna rep my culture, maybe through clothing, through what, or I'm gonna shoot it in my country, that's good. That's how we'll push the culture. But if artist B comes and says, you know what, this is the song is for my people here, but decides, I want to go show you a whole different culture that has nothing to do with that geographical area or the lingo you're even talking in the song, I think that's when we miss it. I think that's when those situations happen, that we start to miss it. But if you can find a good balance, whether it's through commercial music or whatever, and just balance it right, I think we get it there. It's the same way where if you have an artist that's using predominantly English in a song, the best way we know that in Nigeria, if you use predominantly
as one. That's where the problem comes. It's all Afro beats to them.
Ovie, maybe that's not all. Maybe I don't know. Maybe no offense, but I don't know. You know, it's one thing leads to another. You know, at one point too, everybody thought Nigerian music is African music.
Yes, he's right. No, he's right.
So, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we were sick of that at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, yo, because Nigeria owns the music in Africa. You know what I mean? That's how my brothers think. And, you know, maybe that's...
It's funny because Afrobeat struggled with that. Afrobeat, the Joanna guy, he keeps telling people, I'm not Nigerian. I'm not Ghanaian. I'm not Nigerian. I'm not Ghanaian. But that one, you can't really... Because we don't have too many Ivorian stars breaking into the scene, you know, mainstream like that. So and he just gives off that vibe, you know. So you just think it's easy to think he's either Nigerian or Ghanaian, but he always stresses that I'm not from either of those countries. So you really can't blame us for dominating. It's not our fault.
I'm not really blaming anybody. I'm just trying to say that, you know. But yeah, it's
So that's an even bigger question. Nigeria has a huge market share for African music. It's all eyes on Niger, you know. They have a huge market share. I think it goes hand in hand that there's strength in numbers. All over the planet, you'll find a Nigerian at every corner of the planet. You can go to Tokyo, you're gonna find some Nigerians. You're gonna be in Iowa, in the middle America, you're gonna find some Nigerians. How do you think that the future landscape of African music will evolve? Do you think that Nigerian music will always be the mainstay? Will other entertainment hubs be greater focus? How do you, I guess, how's the narrative told to be more encompassing?
It'll evolve, I'll tell you that much. Some 10, 15 years ago, it used to be Francophone Africa dominating. You know, there was the period when it was like Awilo, Longoba, you know, the guys I'm talking about, all of them, they were huge. You know, Makosa Zouk,
there was a period of
all of it. Yeah, then SA had its vibe. Ghana had its own wave. Lazonto, some 5, 6 years ago, 4 years ago. So it, and then there's, of course, like you said, there's house. It'll evolve. At some point, it might even be East Africa. You know, I do not expect, I'd love for Nigerian music to stay up there, but I do not expect it to stay up there all through, you know. So all it takes is maybe 2 or 3 major stars coming out of one country, from South Africa all over again, and then everyone moves to that whole
Cameroon, bro.
Or from Cameroon. It might even, I think Francophone Africa might have its spell again, you know, because you just never know.
Yeah, because Francophone, I mean,
I think that's where it's coming from next too.
Yeah, you know, because I think, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's Francophone Africa, but those guys were like, you know, they weren't young cats like that. They were like,
they weren't the younger guys. You know, Kofi Olomide and co,
but now you have young cats from Nigeria. Is way different, you know. Like, so I think our generation has suffered. I mean, I don't have that problem that much because I'm super bilingual. I do speak French and English, and I cut across. But those my guys, maybe in just Côte d'Ivoire, will speak just French.
Yeah.
Just French. They may not be able to have a conversation like that, you know, because they don't understand, you know, like, celui-là, il dit quoi? Je comprends pas anglais.
Yeah, we can't go past the language barrier. It's a big deal. You know, you might always have, you could have that one-off hit song that is not fully English. That might be, you know, kind of like the way America had Upper Gangnam Style or Macarena, or you always have that breakout song, but for it to just become a complete trend where it's just French music dominating, it's tough. It's very tough. That's where I think the aristocrat, you brought it up, where the English is important, to have that English there to have a more
Yes.
global appeal. You know, you want to have that. And English is almost seen as the international language of sorts, right? So yeah, so the language barrier will also determine where the music goes next. You know, we just don't know where exactly. It might be somebody, or it might be a sector where they speak English and French in equal measures. You know, that might just be the next sound that comes out. But I just don't believe Nigeria will dominate like this for the next 10 years. It'll switch. It always switches at some point.
And if it flips, I'll make sure I give you the passport to the country that holds the flag.
Good luck with that, bro. Good luck.
Okay, so I would like to have closing, so we'll just go around with everyone. Just give some, a sign off where everybody can find you on social media, and maybe a one-liner about your thoughts on the future for music in the diaspora. So we'll start with Cam.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me as part of this conversation. This is super dope. I think all of you guys are extremely knowledgeable in your fields. And so this was really, I'm happy to be a part of it. You can find me on Instagram, Compliments to Cam. I guess you can tag Sav Britt and you'll find it somewhere on there. And so my final thoughts on this whole conversation, I really think that if people take the time, if artists take the time to truly identify what their barometer is for success and then build the team around them that is going to help them achieve that, I think in identifying that, you can protect your creativity, you can protect your culture, and you can also develop the proper foundations that you need to really succeed at that level. And so, yeah, I hope that people use the knowledge that not only we're sharing on lives, but interviews and articles to really empower themselves to, make better decisions when they are coming into the music industry and who they choose to be influenced by.
Okay. Who wants to go next? Stanley?
Oh, yo, okay, yeah, man. I don't know what's happening to my Anyways, I would just like to thank y'all. Thank you, Savannah. Thank you, like everybody. I'm so happy being on this, being with y'all today. Ovie, for example, he's been plugging out our music, plugging content from this side, representing my people for so long. I want to thank you for all of that. Yeah, thank you, my brother. I'm so happy for the sister from the Bronx. I think that's what she said. It's great to see. It's great to know you. It's great to talk with you. And that sister, that Niger sister, wait there.
Moni.
That's Moni. Yeah. So I just want to thank y'all for coming on. You know what I mean? My brother, your name shows David. We haven't been calling you David so far. What's your name?
His name is not David.
I wonder why.
I don't know why David did. I was trying to figure out who is it.
Who's that?
What's your name?
Shay.
Shay. Okay, cool. Nice. So yo, thank you all for coming up, and I think we need brains like yours, to be honest, like creating these panels. Don't think artists don't like listening. Some of them do like listening, do like learning. I think it's great to, having, talks like this, getting it on YouTube, sharing the links, people learn, and they might not get it, but your brothers in the house will get it and know how to go forward with your business and everything. Because at the end of the day, it's music business, and you have to be able to run it as such. So, thank you guys, because you guys are the main. We're blessed to have talent to be in the studio and everything. But we need a lot of these to create an industry where we all be happy and be proud of our talents and everything. So, I mean, God bless you guys, and you guys can follow me at Stanley Enow, Stanley Stanley. Basically, the name is Stanley Enow, but Americans say Enow.
Savannah just asked me before this call to pronounce my last name. I said, wow.
I didn't want to botch it. I want to respect on your name.
So thank you, and I mean, I think the best is coming, and we in Cameroon, we in Francophone, speak in Africa, and ready to connect anytime to make sure. Yeah, man. Rasta man, I see you. Rasta man, I see you. Let's make it work.
I guess I'll go next. Thank you for having me, Savannah. Make sure you guys. So what I do, I also have a YouTube channel called Moni Talks. I've interviewed a lot of people. My worst interview is Burna Boy, so don't watch that interview. It made me cry. It was very rude. But
I remember that interview, Jesus. Wow. Oh.
So yes, but check out my YouTube channel. Also, you can follow me on my Instagram page. I love listening to new music. I'm not gonna lie, all these years I've been very biased, only listening to maybe Nigerian music and American music, but I want to try, other African countries. So I've been listening to a lot of Ghanaian music. So I want to tell you guys that as well, that you shouldn't only listen, especially my American people here, don't only listen to Nigerian music. Let's listen to other stuff. Because a lot of my American friends as well, all they listen to is Nigerian music. So I'm trying to get them hip to other cultures, and all uplift ourselves. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
So we could find that music on your playlist, right, Moni?
Yes. So yes, I do have a playlist. My list right now is only Nigerian music. Switch it up this week just for y'all. I'm gonna switch it up just for y'all.
Oh my gosh. Moni, you still have to do a guest curation for my playlist. We talked about that. We have to make that happen.
I got you. Okay.
Who wants to go next?
I guess it's
this is
my
like
turn.
class.
Okay, right. Who's all right, I guess I'll go. Okay. So my name, as I said earlier, Ovie. My nephew. that's my nephew. Someone else go. Let me find out what he wants right quick. Who's next? Go. Give me 1 second.
My name is Shay Jones. Shout out to Britt Agency for having us. Shout out to Savannah. I had a good time. I learned a lot. It was impactful.
Yeah.
And I definitely got to say, advice for artists in diaspora is artists in diaspora need to come back home. They need to come back home and get that sauce from home, and then go back and mix it with that with that lifestyle out there, back abroad. When you do that, I'll give you a perfect reference to anyone watching. A perfect reference would be Young Bane. He was able to take that singing theme from Cameroon, from his hometown, wherever he came from. I know he didn't come from London. He came from Africa, and he went back there.
From London. J Hus, Kojo Funds.
You see that? Yeah. They come here and they find that thing, go mix it with that thing out there, and it becomes bigger for them. So I think it's really important for everyone to come back home and get some sauce from home. And besides, and after that, you can check out me on Instagram, Shay X Jones, SHAYXJONES.
If you look at the dope producer, you got the bag, hit up LP.
Jay, just a question, Jay. What do you have on the label now?
On what?
Who you have on your label now?
So right now we got LP, we got Juju Boy, we got Tania.
From Cameroon.
Tania from Cameroon. Tania this year, 2020. What's up, Stanley? Get on the song with her. What's up?
Right now. Super definitely. We giving her that stamp in the streets here.
Nice, so you guys have signed Juju Boy. I like that guy. I think he's very talented. That's a good cat.
He's coming out with his first single this summer.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
He's good. Yeah. Nice one.
We also got Focus Ramon. He's a sound engineer. We have him on management. He's engineered most of all the songs that probably came out in Nigeria last year and this year. All the commercial songs, most of them. We also have Shay. We have we have Sazi, female producer. We have Bizouch, he's a producer as well. We have Mr. Kleb, he's a producer. And I don't want to say this, but Mo, we're about to get your boy one day. One day's coming home.
I'm coming to work at Aristocrat, nigga. I'm coming to work there.
One day.
Coming to forget everything I said about labels. I'm coming to work there. Oh, by the way, guys, Ovie went to go snitch on me and tweet that I said all international labels are scams. To all my American people here, I did not say all international labels are scams. I said some. So please do not quote me when you go to Sony or Universal Music. So I'm not banned, okay?
Yeah.
OVA is very good with like live news, so I need you to let your followers know that we got some exclusives that were said during the chat today.
Wait, so Shay, is this one day co-signing to Aristocrat? Is this public knowledge already, or
I don't think
No, it's not.
Ovie, don't go and tweet it, though. Don't go and tweet it.
I have to tweet it. I just have to.
Make sure you said it happened. Make sure you say it happened.
Savannah, of course, Savannah. You know, I'll mention you on it.
Because one day's brain will touch now. You will not
see. I would say I heard this on Savannah's live. I did not. I heard it on Savannah's live. So Savannah, when you get a call or a message, or Shay, okay. So it's on record, right? It's on YouTube, so they know that I didn't say it.
This is live on YouTube.
Yeah, but
we're gonna get one day. It's either we get one day on the records or we get one day on management. But it's one thing has to give, because we need one day back. We need one day back.
Oh, so it's not a done deal then? It's just a.
That's why I said don't say it.
So it's not a done deal now. Okay, good thing you said something else, because you were almost confirming something. Okay, so it's not a done deal.
By the way, Cam, in case you don't know, Wande Cole is like one of the best vocalists out of Africa. I'm not even going to say Nigeria. Out of Africa.
And songwriter.
For myself, I've got lots of homework to do this evening.
Wande Cole is better than filling the blank.
Legendary songwriter as well. Like he's wrote for a lot of
people.
So Ovie, go ahead and sign out.
Okay, so my turn, right?
Make sure you put snitching as snitching and leaking music as your intro.
Oh, well, you've already done it, right? Please, you might as well just do it for me.
This is good. To leak someone's music, we know where to come.
But that's not true. The thing is, I'm retired now. So back in the day, I used to, The funny thing is, the reality is, and I'm going to say it here, many of those leaks were intentional, right? So the very first ones were sometimes the artists didn't know, but then when artists realized that sometimes those leaks actually got the tracks to blow, because back then when you hear leak, this person's song just leaked, everyone just rushes there because it's like, wait, what the hell? And then that usually helps the song blow. So if I mention some of the names that I've deliberately leaked for, in fact, I can say it here. I've deliberately leaked for WizKid himself. There was a time, anyway. There was a time EMI didn't want a record to come out. Wiz sent it. I've leaked for Wiz. I've leaked for Davido himself.
Shake the room.
I've leaked for a lot of major artists. So, but now everyone will just say, "Ovie leaks." So
have you leaked for Burna Boy?
I've not leaked for Burna Boy. And even if I have, I will say it here.
The way the NDA is set up.
Bro, you're gonna leak for me soon.
So we've done some major leaks for major artists, But I just choose to take the negative tone of I leak out, and that's okay. That's fine. But yeah, so my name is Ovie, as you already know. Most people don't know my last name. It's funny because when I looked at the flyer, Savannah didn't put my last name on it. I was like, okay, it's Ofugara. Well, it's cool to just have the O. I just get the OVO, so I guess that works.
Yeah.
So my handles are simple: Instagram, Twitter, OVIEO. That's it. My website is notjustok.com. Majority of you know the website. We also have a streaming app called Enow. You can just search for it on the App Store, the Google Play Store. Enow Music App, MINO. And what I just want to say is our genres need better representation. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but you know, I think we can only carry the term Afrobeats for so long. I think at some point down the line, hopefully within the next year or two, those who are making individual sounds, our sounds will be identified for what they are. And hopefully Grammy will not place Burna Boy and Angelique Kidjo in one category and call it world music, because they don't make the same music. You know, they might collaborate every now and again, but it's not the same kind of music they make. So hopefully at some point the world will recognize our sound and, you know, give us our own lane versus just placing us as world music. And then I also want to talk about artist knowledge and learning, artist education. I feel like artists, yes, you hustle. I know sometimes you guys help your record labels, you push your music. It's very important. I don't think any record label can push you the way you push yourself. You know, it starts from you. So you have to learn. You have to really, really help yourself. Look at Mr. Easy. You understand? That is a man that has studied the game. That's a man that has learned and is being innovative. You understand? So there's if you want to be successful in the music business, you have to learn the business of music. You know, so I feel like artists just need to if there's one thing they should take from that for everything I have said, you know, is to just educate themselves and learn the craft properly. And that's it.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank all of you for coming out today, you know, accommodating to the different time zones just to make this happen. It was very insightful, very impactful. And yeah, this is just a great group of people. I'm really happy that we had this conversation and, you know, shed some light on the future for music in the diaspora. So thanks, y'all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless. Je vous aime. Merci. Je t'aime. Je vous aime.
You don't understand you, sir. Bye-bye.
Merci. Merci. Merci.
Merci.
Bye.
Mo.
Bye.
Yeah. Savannah. Britt.
Thank you so much.
Yo, bro, I got to do that song with Tanaya. No problem. We'll give her that step here.
Okay, I'm going to end this because we're still live. So I'm going to end it.
I'll
connect you guys.
Yeah.